the madhouse.
Cheers to episode 42.
I wasn't prepared.
Cheers.
I don't have anything to cheers.
That's unbelievable.
I got some tea.
I got just water. Recovering from this weekend.
Just a side note, for future reference, my father, big fan of the show, says we need to start drinking during the show because we're a lot more entertaining when we do. So that's just his 2 cents.
I don't disagree. I think the move to Sunday night really hurts.
It hurts to just like drink late at Sunday night.
I just feel like a degenerate.
Yeah, it's weird.
Tonight, but that's noted. Tonight is Sunday, October 17th, 2021. And, I'm not sure if Michigan State will ever lose a football game, and I'm not sure if the Lions will win a football game.
Whoa. Interesting take.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I didn't really write it down. But that's what it feels like right now. It feels like whatever happens between the college teams, they just seem to win games, and the Lions just seem to lose games.
The Lions are good at losing.
And this is the second to last week I can say that because obviously Michigan or Michigan State will lose on the 30th because I don't think you can tie in college football.
No, I don't think. Can you? No.
I've never seen it.
No, I don't think so.
Like, you just have to go like 20 OTs until someone quit.
Yeah, I don't think
22-point conversions. You know how electric that is?
But I mean, theoretically, there's probably a point where you would tie. If it goes over like 24 hours of football, it's going to have to be a tie.
Your eyes are just bleeding. You're like, I don't even want to win anymore.
It would be interesting.
It'd be awesome to be there at it.
Actually, it would probably suck after like you'd probably get to the point where you're just expecting the game never to end, so it'd be like everyone would just leave.
Hypothetically, if this was the 30th, I think I'd down like 6 melting moments throughout the course of that.
Yeah, they'd sell out of everything in the stadium if it had lasted that long.
All right, besides the football, which we will inevitably get into, how was everyone's weekdays, and also weekend?
Evan, you go first this time. Well, actually, you have the more interesting weekend, right?
Probably.
Depends on who you ask. All right, it's my week.
True.
I did something during the week. I saw No Time to Die, but we will talk about that.
Big development for Alex. The week is not boring.
So I did something during the week. That was a big step. And this weekend, I both days, Saturday and today, Sunday, I did what was called an Apple Fest, basically like a family tradition of Mackenzie. And they have this little apple thing. You pop the apples in and you crank it, and it makes apple cider. So did 8 to 10 bushels of apples.
Oh, I like that word. Say that again.
Bushels.
Bushels.
And then also
sounds sexual.
We boiled apples and then turned the boiled apples into applesauce.
Oh.
So brought back some homemade applesauce and apple cider.
Thank you. I'm going to enjoy that.
Warning, apple cider not pasteurized, meaning you might bleep your pants, as in poop your pants, over and over and over again. Just straight dookie.
So wait, explain to Grant. Pasteurized?
Pasteurized just means it's just like raw and fresh.
Oh.
I think to sell it in stores, it has to be pasteurized, and you just boil it to a certain temperature, and then you can call it.
So this is
basically boil out the bad stuff.
This is like the bad boy apple cider.
Sure.
The not safe for work apple cider.
I think Catholic Orchards sells non-pasteurized as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I saw.
So you had you like the phrase apple picking weekend. You had a legitimate.
I did all. I don't want to see an apple for a while. I'm good with apples.
Well, I'm looking forward to a Pumpkin Fest recap.
When's that?
I'm just kidding. I don't know. Turkey Fest recap.
Yeah, so that's it. That's all I did. And then I'm just getting here, and I didn't see a lick of the Lions game.
Yeah, you didn't miss much.
I know.
No.
I'll hop in then because Evan has a highly anticipated review, it sounds like.
I don't think we're overhyping everything.
Well, what he's allowed to share.
You did have a cool weekend. We got to do some stuff.
I saw No Time to Die as well. Was that?
We went together. Spoiler. We went to the movie together.
It was Wednesday. I did the math. I hadn't been to a movie in the theaters which is, I don't know why I caveated like that. Of course you see movies in the theaters, Grant, you dummy. I haven't gone to the movies since 2017. I saw Pitch Perfect 3 with my mom and my sister.
You should have saw the concerns Grant had about, and the amount of questions he asked me about going to the movies. He's like, do people just like have conversations during the movie? Like, no, that's not how the movies
well,
sometimes.
Actually, some people do. It depends on who you go with. If you go with two of our friends, they're going to sit there and have a conversation throughout the movie.
Which are exposed.
I'm not name dropping them, but like they will casually talk to each other and make
off
jokes
the
throughout
record.
the movie.
Oh, wait, I do have to say one, so we're back on the record. One thing that did happen this week before we get into the review, I just want to mention because Grant said we went to the movies. There was no one in the theater, and three people, like a mom, dad, and kid, sat right next to me. Right next to me. No one in the whole entire movie theater, and they sat right next to me. It was unbelievable. It's super annoying. But continue.
That could have been on me because I was thinking back on how that happened. I may have bought 2 tickets that had like 3 X's next to them on the site. That could have been on me.
Regardless, I went to the bathroom and then I moved seats and sat somewhere else because it was dumb.
So it was a really nice theater. I mean, I've been to an Imagine before, but it was nice. What was really most fascinating about it is that bought the tickets online and you didn't have to show them to anybody.
Which I told Grant is standard procedure.
So I'm guessing that what they must do is just have either someone in the film room or someone just look out at the theater and count the heads and make sure like the amount of people that bought tickets online matches how many people are in this theater. Because other than that, what is like checking to see if you could just who's stopping you from going for free is my question.
No one. I don't think anyone.
You don't think they check?
I don't think they checked when we were there. The 7 people in the movie theater.
I feel like they have to.
It's
That's
weird.
Way too much trust.
Weird. It's just like the honor system for the movies.
That doesn't exist.
It
does actually. When you mobile order to a certain Starbucks, they just leave all your drinks on a counter as a free for all, so you could just steal coffee if you wanted to.
I know that someone told me when they were in college, won't say their name, them and their friends, they'd just go to Taco Bell late at night and they'd put the orders and they would just go grab them and just get as much Taco Bell as possible for free. They just send a different person in, go grab the order and leave.
Wow.
Stunning.
That is
never paid $1.
That is bad karma.
Super bad.
Bad. So that was lovely. Popcorn was good. It was actually stunning how big the sizes were. I mentioned to Alex I was thinking about ordering a large before we got there, and he laughed at me. And I was like, why? And then I looked at it. I was like, oh. So I ended up getting a small, because a small in my head is what a large would be.
They're huge.
Some classic peanut M&Ms and some mellow yellow, because I really wanted Mountain Dew, but they didn't have Pepsi products. So that was fantastic. Other than that, nothing crazy this week. Enjoyed football, even though...
The fridge.
Oh, great call, Alex. So
the nasty fridge.
So a disgusting experience in our apartment was that there was a bad power outage probably towards the end of August, start of September, I want to ballpark, where the power was out for legitimately 4 to 5 days. And I would assign 50-50 blame to us for not just fully clearing everything out of the fridge immediately.
Because just basically just left everything in there.
Right, and I think we left that weekend.
Yeah, we were gone.
And just... I think in our heads, we're like, oh, the power will come back on within like 24 hours so we can leave the stuff in. And then we left and it never came back on and got back and realized it was still off. No problems. So I guess beneath the surface of the fridge, something was lurking. A dark, dirty monster was lurking beneath the fridge and in the drip pan of a fridge. So to be honest, I don't think I'd ever ran into problems with our drip pan growing up with my parents. So I didn't even know like what it was.
I didn't know what a drip pan was either.
So did some research. It's just this plastic container that kind of catches liquid, usually like actual just water that like condensates down. But obviously gross things from expired food and like powerless food will drip into it. And so I would say about, I don't know, over the last weekend, so 7 days ago, I just kind of felt this smell like brewing underneath. Well, in the kitchen, and then I figured out eventually it was underneath the fridge of like a litter box and like just gross underwear and like feet would be like the combo. If you just mushed those.
And some fish.
And some fish. Yeah, some salmon in there. If you munched all that together, that's what it was. And finally figured it out and was like, okay, That's where it's coming from. Was trying to access the pan from the front of the fridge, which would not like slide out, so that was bad. And then eventually was able to move the fridge out, which was a task in itself because it's like in a little cubby, and got it out, turned it around so I could access it from the back, and then was like it won't come out. So I quick Google like, okay, do drip pans do all of them remove? No, turns out they don't all remove. Like some brands just basically put them in there so like you can't take them out. I don't know, maybe they just don't trust the common folk. So I basically had to shove my hand through like a crack that wasn't that long to take I'd use napkins, I used paper towels, I used a sponge, a bunch of things, went through like half a rack of napkins and almost a whole thing of paper towels, just swiping at this drip pan as far as I could go, elbow deep. It just kept pulling out this black and brown gunky stuff. It was just caking this. But I think the problem is pretty much solved. I think things are good. We'll see how it progresses. If more stuff drips, learn a good lesson to always take things out of the fridge, no matter how short the power outage is. And then took a fantastic shower after that, as you can imagine. It was one of the better showers I've ever taken. Just really cleansed myself of everything I just witnessed on Saturday morning. So yeah, that was pretty much it other than watching football, which was a pretty boring weekend overall, I'd say. And then we'll get to the movie later, but now to Evan.
Give me those camp out details.
Let's start earlier in the week. Wednesday night, primetime football, 9 o'clock. Had our last regular season IM game.
Wait, pause, Evan. My dad also mentioned this weekend he really loves your flag football recaps. Thinks they're hilarious.
I'm good to hear.
Pressure.
This one's
feels bad
just as bad. He shouldn't feel bad. Our team stinks. We took another L, 0-4 on the regular season. We're going to be playing. This hurts my win-loss record. My win percentage in IM football was through the roofs before this.
On our IM website, it shows each player and their all-time record in IM sports. So Evan's record is taking a beating.
Is Evan a system flag football player in my column?
I'll just tell you right now, I excel when I have better athletes around me. That's 100% fact. When I know that I have players to my left and right that know how to play defense, I think the team is better. I took an L Wednesday night. It was a tough scene.
No triple option? Triple option?
No.
Okay, that's good.
We scored more points this week at least, so that was positive. But we still get it down in the red zone and we just don't score. Tough. We had the ball on the 2-yard line and we didn't score.
Sounds like Indiana this weekend.
Dang. So that was Wednesday. Thursday, nothing much. Friday, busy day Friday. Woke up.
That's always good.
Rev it, buddy. Yeah, some days more than others. Had a golf scramble with a friend of the podcast, Cody, for one of my classes. So he drove up here, had a golf scramble, just a 9-hole, kind of mandatory grade for my class. I did not play very well. I think one team shot 7 under, and I think we shot 1 or 2 under. That was fun. Then is on camp out time. Boom, 3 o'clock hit. Went to open practice. Got a little scouting report on the team.
Hogard looking good?
Don't ask questions.
Hogard looking good? That was mean. I shouldn't have brought him into this.
Let me just say the 2 stars of practice were Tyson Walker and Jaden Akins. They stood out in practice in my eyes.
Not surprising.
And then we had to set up our tent, and then that's when the rain started, 6 o'clock.
No.
It was sprinkling a little bit, downpoured a little bit. We got the tent set up. And then as a Munster, we went into the hockey game. Hockey team looked really good for the first 10 minutes of the game. We won 3-1, so that was nice. And then we left the hockey game. Wasn't raining. Everybody was socializing, getting a good time. And we were waiting for the team to come out on the stage for the Izone camp out. And they came out around 10 o'clock. And we were kind of just nonchalantly just standing around. Pierre Brooks was throwing football passes to students. He was socializing with everyone else. Mm-hmm. And at one point I was just yeah, let's just go to the stage. And they had the stage set up. And then we stood on obviously it's a square. We stood on the side Like, I'm touching the stage. I'm front row. And then all of a sudden this guy comes up and they have like flame. I don't know what you want to call it. They had flames that were
Like the
shooting out.
Pistons,
And they're
like
like, yeah, everybody standing in this area needs to move. And I was like, I'm not moving. I will not move. So if you check the Michigan State basketball, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and you just scroll through those pictures, me and Colby and Connor and Jason, we are mean mugging in at least 95% of those pictures.
Can I give my favorite account, even a little more in the weeds, that we were tagged in?
Smith.
Shout out the what I don't know what account tagged us. It was an MSU account that's trying to grow here, and they tagged you because they recognized you, Evan. You are recognizable in the street by MSU fan accounts.
Wait, this is real.
They knew. Yeah, I'll read you it. So the Davis Smith basketball player for Michigan State. It's
Steve Smith's son.
_ Davis Satchel _ is his like username. It's probably my favorite one of the weekend. You just see Evan with the double peace sign. When in doubt, double peace. Him and Davis are both throwing up the double peace. You got Colby
just
in front of the pod, just looking. It's like that meme of like get you someone that looks at Davis the way Colby looks at Davis, and then you have Pierre Brooks with the buffs on in the back. But my favorite part about this whole thing is that I need to find the account. I wish I had it on my phone. But there was an MSU account, like a MSU Drive or MSU something, that said at Shot of MS, MSU.drive at Shot of MS, because they recognized Evan Kappas in the front row. So, Evan, you are a campus-wide face known at this point. I'm going to declare.
I'm hot on the streets. This is the second time I've been recognized.
Yeah.
Second time. This podcast is booming.
Yes. With that, yep.
Yeah, so the production was really nice for like the team introductions and meeting the team. I think it was the best like setup or introduction that they've done, like that I've witnessed or been a part of.
Is this your third camp out?
Yes, because of COVID. One camp out, we actually got to camp out. The second one was in the Breslin Center. Alex, you were there for it. That was lovely.
I was there for the first one too.
Yeah.
Time has ruined the wave.
COVID last year. Do the wave. Yeah, oh my gosh, that was miserable. And then right around midnight, that's when it all went downhill after that.
Rain.
It started to sprinkle. It started to mist. And you look at the forecast, and it was just 9% chance of rain at like 2, 3, and 4 o'clock. And you're like, just send us home. Just send us home. I'll pack up my tent right now. No. We braced in. There was 5 of us in the tent. And we hunkered down inside our tent because, like, I'm not getting soaking wet just standing out socializing with people I don't really know. Basketball team left before the rain started.
Smart.
And so, I did we had a tarp and then we had the rain protection over it. So we were dry inside the tent, but like condensation on the sides. But I woke up in the middle of the night around like 4 or 5, I think it was. And this tent looked like it was about to like take off. It was so windy and rainy, like the sides were almost like caving in. And I was like, dude, this is miserable. I was like, they could easily be like, oh, go home. But I was like, I'm not going home. It's downpouring right now. Shout out to everybody inside the tent. I don't want to name drop, but we were battling in there. Some heated words got exchanged. Had some people snoring or some people moaning in their sleep. And so we were just like, hey, knock it off. Woke up, Tom Izzo's walking around at 6 in the morning naked with a blowhorn, just sounding off the siren, telling people to go home.
They didn't have McDonald's for you guys? They had that for me my freshman year.
No, they didn't.
I walked out of my tent.
Colby went and got McDonald's while like a couple of us put away the tent. This tent is absolutely ruined. It is just wet and soggy and muddy and
smells like beef.
It's got a lot of beef.
It is just sitting in the trunk currently right now, just baking.
Oh my God, your car's going to smell.
I have nowhere to dry it out.
Just throw it away at this point.
Tie it to a flagpole.
See, here's the thing. It's not really my tent. I would do that, and I thought about doing that when I saw it. I looked at it, and I was like, I should just throw this tent away. But it's not really my tent. My parents.
Dude, the back of your car is going to stink.
Yeah. God, that's going to be like a Wednesday thing when I open up that trunk and been like, yeah. It's over. It's a good run.
Yeah, that's a bye-week project for sure.
Yeah. So Friday, woke up, took a good hour power nap, and then drove to Grand Valley State to watch a ranked matchup football game, 7 o'clock prime time in Lover Stadium.
Tough loss for the Lakers.
Against Ferris State?
Tough loss against Ferris State. turnovers in the first half. They were going in driving, and they said he fumbled. And they had like a 95-yard fumble recovery for a touchdown, Ferris did, at the end of the first half.
Devastating.
How was the atmosphere at GV, Evan? Football stadium-wise?
The stadium's super nice.
Better than Northwestern.
Alabama D2.
Yeah, yes, by far the stadium is way better than Northwestern.
That is a terrible indictment on Northwestern.
But they're getting an upgrade.
Right.
Yeah, supposedly. Yeah, tailgate. They had one of the coolest tailgating scenes I've ever seen.
Just line the streets.
It is a cul-de-sac, and there's like probably, 10 to 15 houses just wrapped around. And then there's a big like grass lot in the middle of all these houses. And like half of Grand Valley State, like student body, was there just socializing, hanging out.
And I'm guessing the whole like dry campus thing they don't really enforce. So I always heard about Grand Valley, and I see the pictures. I'm like,
technically, we were off campus. But I asked a couple of people, like, "Hey, I want to carry my beer with me," and they're like, "Oh, I just don't recommend you like carrying a 24 Rack-and-Bush light out in the public."
Losers.
Yeah. So I let the other kids, just throw my stuff in the backpacks. Had a good time, quality time. Sunday Scary hit a little bit hard, and that drive back from you're not at your own place, you have to drive back.
Oh yeah,
stunk.
That's never fun.
No.
Yeah, so
it's hard to stay awake on those drives.
Busy sometimes. Weekend.
Yeah, you were jam packed.
I know I was. Starting Friday when I woke up, jam packed.
Good thing the bye week's coming for you too. Sometimes people need a bye week themselves.
I need one. Well,
birthday celebration this weekend.
Yeah,
right.
My body's not going to have a bye week, but my football heart will have a bye week.
Yes,
that's important.
The stress levels.
Yeah.
Okay, so No Time to Die, the movie we all have seen. Spoiler alerts.
Full spoilers coming.
Yep.
Don't listen if you don't want to.
Skip ahead. Spoiler alerts.
Or just listen if you don't care about it.
Hard and fast.
James Bond is dead.
We're just gonna. James Bond died.
Jeez. You had to give him at least like a 5-second window. Be like, oh, let me skip ahead real quick.
Maybe I can edit that in just with siren.
Yeah, just a little siren sound.
James Bond died.
James Bond is dead. And Evan, was that the right way for James to die?
I wasn't expecting it.
Same.
I was.
I'm going into the movie. I wasn't expecting him to die. I'll be honest, 100% honest. I was not expecting him to die. I knew it was Daniel Craig's last one, but with like the previous couple, how he was like in retirement, I was expecting him just kind of like have like a send off. Like, okay, I'm retired and I'm not going to do this again. And then when they threw that huge curveball in the middle of the movie,
that he has a child.
Okay, that he has a daughter.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, now this daughter is a reason for him to get away forever.
Right. I thought because of the family aspect, he wouldn't die. He would have that. So then he dies, doesn't get to see his family.
No.
And how depressing is that? I mean,
super depressing.
I was holding back tears when I saw the ending.
They were bubbling up.
He was just standing there. I was holding back tears. I had to start moving around in my seat. I had to start scratching my head.
Yeah.
They were coming. The waterworks were about to hit.
It was a depressing end.
And that's how you know it's a great movie, because like it's not the ending I would have predicted or even would have liked, but it's I like respect it because it makes it even more of like a well-rounded movie. Because like in my head, I pictured his wife Madeline and Mathilde, not his wife, but would have been wife, Madeline and Mathilde, like just going to that Jamaican hideout place he had in the beginning of the movie, and just like living there or somewhere in Italy, like the beginning of the movie. I could picture that. And like part of you's like, no, like he doesn't have to die because MI6 will figure out a cure for this stupid disease that like is going to infect him forever. Like they would have figured out a cure for it for sure.
Point blank, they said no.
But it's just like he just had to. It was, you know what it was, looking back on it, and it makes sense why I like the series, both series so much. It was the end of Dark Knight Rises. It was Batman sacrificing himself for the good of humanity. And even he didn't really have that much of a love interest.
Spoilers.
Okay, Dark Knight Rises has been up for a decade. But yeah, I mean, he sacrificed himself by flying the bomb out, and James Bond sacrificed himself by opening the doors. There wasn't too much, I think, to really nitpick in the movie, like unrealistic wise. I mean, if you look past all the crazy chase scenes, but that's just James Bond.
Could he have survived the bomb in the grave? I mean, he was pretty close to that, and that just blew its doors off right in front of him.
That was stunning. They got out hot. I did not see Vesper's grave blowing up as a bingo card. If we had a bingo card of her grave blowing up there, no, wasn't even thinking that.
I would say the movie was like, 3 hours almost? And it felt like it was like 30 minutes. The movie flew by.
I said the same thing when I left. I said it's a 3-hour movie, but it is action-packed. There are like no dull moments during the movie. There's no slow parts.
No breaks.
So like everything builds on each other perfectly where it goes by so fast.
And the crazy thing, maybe just because I nerd out about the series, it's so sneaky funny. Like, if you know all the characters and you like dry humor, like James Bond's also sneaky, one of the funnier characters without doing that much. And then, like,
subtle things.
The way, like, I think the best chemistry was, like, when him, Q, and Moneypenny were all, like, reuniting and they were at Q's apartment and he was, like, getting ready for his date or whatever. And it was so funny, like, the way they were, like, subtly roasting each other and all that. And I think sneaky, one of my favorite scenes was the chase through, like, Norway when he had Madeline and Matilda in the car. And then they go into that forest. Like that shot when they're driving and you see those cars fly off the cliff and the helicopter's overhead. And you're like, oh my God, how is he going to get out of this one? And then they're in that like foggy forest. And he gets to finally kill that traitor who killed, I forget the Felix.
Where he just shoves the car.
He shoves the car on him. Yeah. That was great.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. I mean,
really
it
good.
was.
Now, Evan, the most important question. Where does it rank in your James Bond movie list?
James Bond movie list. Okay, well, Spectre's on the bottom.
Thanks.
No,
not
Not Spectre. Quantum of Solace.
Quantum of Solace
is on the bottom.
That's what everyone says.
This has got to be number one. I think like the action, like the length of it, and like the meaningful behind every single part of it. I'll say this is.
I think it's either that or Skyfall. I need to rewatch some of them outside of Casino Royale because I've seen that so many times. I need to rewatch like Spectre and Skyfall, and I'll probably appreciate them even all more.
I know I need to watch Spectre. I think another time to actually like fully appreciate it.
That's what I wish. I wish I had actually. I like took it for granted. I'm like, oh, I've seen these movies all before. Like I'm gonna know the storylines. But there was stuff I was even shaky on watching it back. Like I forgot how well Spectre was gonna tie in. I didn't know how much Spectre was gonna tie into this, and it clearly did. Because they even have what's his face, Waltz, the villain from Spectre, back in. He's a fantastic actor. I said this to Alex. I don't know where you stand, Evan. I'm not sure when they inevitably reboot James Bond, if it's not the right actor, I don't know if I'm going to watch it because I just like.
It's a tough.
Which might be an overreaction, but I like respect Daniel Craig in the 5 movies he did so much. And like since his character died, is even more like cheesy, sentimental. Out of respect for that, I may just not watch the rest of them.
It's gonna be difficult for us because we were too young to appreciate like Pierce Brosnan and like all the people that watched Pierce Brosnan thought the same thing about Daniel Craig. Where we grew up, Daniel Craig's our James Bond, and then seeing a new guy would feel completely different. Obviously, Daniel Craig's like the number one James Bond in my eyes, so I think it will be weird to see a new James Bond. But some 2 front runners, I don't know if you guys have seen it, some 2 front runners to play the next James Bond. Tom Hardy and Henry Cavill are like 2 of the top leading candidates.
I don't think I would like either of them as James Bond.
I think Tom Hardy would pull it off very well.
I would take Tom Hardy over Superman because he stunk as Superman.
It's two completely different roles.
Yeah, he already has a bad.
He looks like the old. I'll say this:
he's too tall.
We might have some boomers come after me, but I think the old James Bonds stink, and I've actually seen all of 2 of them, and they're just so corny. They're like not making fun of spies like Austin Powers does, but they're like pretty goofy. Like one's called
just compared them to Austin Powers.
Like one's called Octopussy, and one's called Goldfinger. Like they're just like goofy, almost like. Goofy spy movies. Like Daniel Craig was like real. He had and whoever directed the movie, I'm sure like the nerds in the weeds will be like, they took James Bond and made him a completely different character. So it's more, I'm sure if they asked like Pierce Brosnan and all those guys and Sean Connery to act more emotional and stuff, it could have been like that. But I just like the way they reinvented the James Bond character for the Daniel Craig one. Like he was an emotional guy. He was like funny as well. Like you saw all angles of him. And it was just unbelievable at doing everything, which makes no sense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who's the new James Bond. But for now, James Bond is dead.
Died.
And for all the conspiracy theorists that say he's not dead, Wilkins, he literally blows up. You see missiles hit him. He's dead. He's as dead as dead can be.
Oh.
Super dead.
Anna de Armas.
Oh, stunning. Should have been in the movie.
I thought she would be in the movie longer.
That's what I'm saying.
She was only in the movie for like 20 minutes.
Based on
It was ridiculous. And she's in every trailer. She's in the trailer the whole time.
Previews. You would think she's like in the whole movie, and she's in one scene.
I'll give her the award for most efficient actress. She did the most in the least amount of time and captured my attention the most of any person ever. It was just like, I was so sure she was going to come back in at some point in the movie and they're going to team up again, but it was just like, nope. Enjoy her for the 20 minutes you get, and like gone.
Yeah, it was stunning.
All right, I need to ask you this question. I had a glass shattering moment after the movie. So the Madeline Swan, the actress that plays that, very attractive. Did any of you guys notice her like gap tooth throughout the movie?
Sure.
Immediately.
You guys noticed that?
Yeah.
I did not notice that
Until the end.
throughout any time watching her. No, until like I was like drooling over after the movie, and I watched it with Jason and Luke, and I was like, gosh, he was like, oh, what about Anna de Armas? And I was like, no, I'm a Madeline fan. He's like, you didn't see the gap tooth? I was like, what are you talking about? And then I instantly looked up pictures, and I was like, glass shattering moment. I was like, it's over.
I also think she like chopped off all her hair now, so it's tough for the Google her. I disagree on that one. She was like, if I had to rank the Bond females of like the 5, she's definitely lower. I don't know what about it.
I thought
she's higher on my list.
Like I think Vesper's more attractive than Madeline Swan.
No, I think Madeline's way more attractive than Vesper.
On the Madeline.
Even with the teeth.
Well. Yeah.
Even with the teeth.
I don't think Vesper was that.
Vesper was bad.
She had her moments. All right,
episode's getting bonked.
Let's move on.
All right, yeah, but must see. Even if you'd spoiled, must see. Go do it.
Yeah, it's good.
To transition to real life and not the big.
The Lions lost to the Bengals.
The Lions lost to the Bengals. I declared it a must-win the week after your coach cries in front of everyone. Now our coach is just pissed off in front of everyone.
Now our coach is saying that there's quarterback competition.
Now our coach said that Goff needs to do more. You think? Dan, you ever watch the games? I don't even know the final score. I'll find it. 34-11.
Sweet.
I don't think it was scoregami, but we were close to scoregami because you don't see 11 points many times in a football game. That's almost impressive in itself.
Scoregami is always a wild thing to see.
Yeah, I just love the phrase of it too. Alex has already stated he has not really seen the game.
I've seen a few clips.
Evan,
basically nothing.
Evan, I'll defer to you because I saw bits and pieces of it. I saw more than I usually do, but I'll defer to you.
Bad reporting here. I saw parts of it.
So and you know what? This leads great into a question.
We picked. Yeah, it does. Lay it on us, Alex.
Well, you wrote it down. Are the Lions watchable? Because none of us watched the game start to finish.
I would argue at this point, this game confirmed it. They are not. Like, you can watch them and you won't be called crazy yet. But if you have a significant other or you have family members that are wanting your attention on a Sunday, you should give it to them at this point in your life. You should not value the Lions over any real human being that you value in your life because they stink and they're a dumpster fire and they have to earn back our attention at this point.
I obviously didn't see much of any of the game. What's the problem scoring offense? Anybody have an offensive overarching? What was the problem today?
Jared Goff just gets every time I look up, he was getting sacked.
Yeah, it was efficiency and pressure up the middle. The opening couple drives, the Bengals just got what's his name? I can look it up right here.
Hendrickson or whatever.
Hendrickson.
He doesn't wear gloves.
Yeah, he was putting pressure all over. Sewell did not look the best.
He's at left. Taylor Decker did not get activated, or did he?
He did not.
Who?
Did Taylor Decker play?
Decker did not play.
I believe no.
God, I hope not. We're going to sound dumb.
That would be really bad if he did.
Well, no, Sewell started at left tackle.
Thank you. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, Amonra got one ripped out on a play. It was a great throw by Goff down the seam. It just got ripped out of his hands. I mean, he's just a freak play.
I mean, Goff finished with 28 for 42 for 202.
It's just
an interception. He did get sacked only once, and it was on like the opening second drive. But his QBR is 13.3 for today's performance.
I saw a stat that at one point in the game, his average yards per attempt was 1.9 yards.
It's just
so he was just throwing, I don't know, basically probably to DeAndre Swift right out of the backfield.
To sum up, I guess a big chunk of the game was just this interaction on Twitter I saw where Lions Twitter was freaking out that they completed a 23-yard pass. Like, that just tells you the depth of targets on this team, the average yards per pass attempt and catches. It's just like, and we're watching the Sunday night game. I'll tell you this. The Lions, you want to see the Lions, they're the Steelers, except the Steelers have better playmakers overall, so they can score more points than the Lions can. It's the same offense. It's like no throws are more than like 10 yards downfield.
10 is generous.
95% of the time. But the difference is that, like I said, the Steelers have better receivers, so they can pull off more plays.
And then they just aired it out.
So it's like if we had Deontay Johnson or Claypool, you could score a little bit more points. This was an aberration. I mean, the Lions' offense hasn't been good recently, but they did have some good performances earlier in the year, so it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, another example was one of our tweets. I quoted that one. I said, this throw is wet farts, because it's just what it was when Jared Goff missed Hockenson on a wide open little wheel route on 3rd and 4. Now, post game,
great for my fantasy team.
Post game, they said there's some there could have been some miscommunication on the route, but it's still disgusting throw. So I don't really know. Just bad. You can't have Sewell getting blitzed by Hendrickson.
What about throwing the ball away on 4th down? I saw that all over the web.
Bad. I mean, just bad awareness, I guess. Not the worst thing ever, because
better or worse than Joe Milton's final attempt against Ole Miss last night? Anybody see that?
I did not watch that game.
I did. I saw the clip of it.
I just was laughing when I saw.
You did see it?
I just saw a tweet from a Tennessee beat report that made me giggle. They got shared around on Michigan Twitter. Was like, and now Joe Milton enters the game for their injured quarterback to try to save the game, and everyone's like, "Oh, this isn't going to end well."
Basically, it was the last play of the game. They're on like the 20-yard line, so they had to just throw it into the end zone. I mean, like, they're about to score. They're close, not their own 20-yard line. So Joe Milton he looks panicked in the pocket to begin with. Finally, rolls out of the pocket, has the left side. He's on the left side of the field, like has plenty of time to throw a ball to the end zone. Just runs for 10 yards and runs out of bounds, and the game ends. Didn't even try to score. Didn't throw to the end zone. Didn't like put his shoulder down and try to make something happen. He just ran out of bounds. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
On the bright side, Alex, watch this play. Can you see?
Yeah.
This 3rd and 15, Evan, it's right before halftime. You may have seen the highlight, like Henderson comes around and it looks like it's going to be a strip sack. It's Jared Goff baby hands showing growth by holding on to this football.
Stunning.
I feel like old Jared would have definitely.
The other camera angle, it probably got caught between his thigh and his balls and was able to hold on to it.
Old Jared drops that football, no doubt.
Jared drops that ball next week, I guarantee it.
But with all that kind of BS of the offense, it was still a game at halftime. So they hung in there. The defense, I guess, can we shout out the defense? The defense was in this and then just kind of laid an egg, which they should have, because you look at the sidelines, like the offense isn't doing anything for us. So what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, man, I didn't see it, so I don't know if the defense was good or not.
Awarrior had a sweet
34 points.
Had a sweet interception. Yeah, I mean, but it was what, 10-0 at half?
Well, that's not bad.
Yes.
10-0 at half.
Yeah, 10-0 at half.
And then Mixon kind of did Mixon things, and so they did get to 17-0. But still, like in an NFL game, that's not insurmountable, which we've seen. And
love Joe Burrow.
Jamar Chase, there's talk after playing us that he is the best deep threat in the NFL right now, and it's hard to disagree because all he does is catch. You want to talk about depth of target? Cincinnati's completely different than Detroit. They air the baby out.
Cincinnati shows us the blueprint to be good in the future. They were just as dumpster fire a couple years ago too. And you know what? They're 4-2.
You know, I sent that to your fantasy football chat. I said, is the hope as Lions fans to emulate, and the Bengals is a good call, but I said the Panthers as well.
The Panthers suck still.
No, I don't think they suck. They're about 500 right now, right? They were on the verge. They were on the verge. 500. They were on the verge of being 4-2 if they didn't blow that game today.
Blow it. They had a miracle drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were lucky to tie it and go to overtime.
Look, they had chances to win. Okay.
Well, that was a bad take, and
That one got lost in the shuffle. I forget. All I know is Minnesota's kicker missed a kick against them, but can't miss one against the Lions.
Minnesota did win, though.
True.
I don't know. I don't have much else about the Lions. I guess I can rattle off the rest of the questions here. Are there any bright spots you see in this team?
I have a bright spot. My order was picked up finally. Thought we were going to have another crisis where I ordered food during the show and it never came. But it has been picked up.
I thought you were talking about the Lions.
No, I don't have a bright spot. My bright spots are the same every week. So
Bright spot?
Bright spot, Hawkinson led the team in targets with 11.
Love that.
Got involved. Okay.
About time.
Selfish fantasy team member.
No, they listen to our podcast. We say it every week.
Hand up, bright spot. I played the Bengals defense, which I told all of you to do. Play the defense, playing the Lions, and it's a good experience.
Yeah. Bright spot, I guess, like our fast, actually athletic linebackers led the team in tackles. Barnes had 9 and Reeves-Maben had 7. So
we're gonna ignore Reeves-Maben getting absolutely cooked by Chris Evans for the first touchdown of the game.
Yes, we are going to ignore that. Yep, it was just great play design. I don't know what to tell you.
Can you show me that? You have that up?
No, not just off the top. He just gets juked out.
I did not see
the problem is they put Maben in a bad. I would say it's also coaching wise. Reeves-Maben lined up as a slot cornerback against a running back. It's just not going to end well. And there was not enough safety cover to stop the play. So, also it was just a funny. I think I did tweet about that. It's just funny to watch Chris Evans utilized like that and just play him. Maybe that would have been good in Ann Arbor, but
dang, feels bad.
You can't have everything. All right, here you go, Alex.
Snap away.
Right here.
Snap away.
Maybe just lost. And then there's no safety help. So that was that play. Other bright spots. I think you nailed it, Evan. I think the athletic linebacking core gives me more hope. The secondary is actually not terrible. Like the pass yards that the Lions give up per game is respectable. I was looking this up. I don't know. It's not the worst. But yeah, let me see here. Passing.
Speaking of corners, this is your weekly reminder.
17th.
The Lions drafted Jeff Okudah over Justin Herbert. Nice.
Thanks. Oh, bright spots. It seems that maybe, at least after his return to college football and the game he had against Cal, that we might have a clear number 1 pick in Kayvon Thibodeau this year. So that could be something to look forward to. I just said something 1,000 times.
Now, I asked you guys last week.
That means you have to suffer without getting a quarterback this year.
I asked you guys last week. I'm asking again. 2 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson. Would you do it right now?
No.
No.
Because he probably will never play in the NFL again.
Any more consideration?
No. It's just a waste. He's not going to play in the NFL. And if he does get signed, they're going to throw him on the exempt list.
It's all pending.
No. I'll ask you guys a question that I'd asked you before, but I'll phrase it like this. Percent chance odds this team goes 0-17 and makes history.
10% chance.
33% chance.
High, man. That is high.
We thought we would be able to beat the Bengals, and they just beat us.
I did. I believe on the graphics.
Embarrassed us at home.
Yeah, this was a must-win, like I said.
On the graphic,
you don't
we
have
both
many
said
of these.
expected to lose.
You look at the rest of the roster, like our schedule. Like the Falcons, maybe, but I mean Matt Ryan's still looking decent. Nobody can stop Patterson yet.
Eagles at
the
home?
only person I can see is like the Eagles.
Nice.
But the Eagles quarterback is better than our quarterback.
Spider-Man meme when we play the Steelers and the average depth of completion is 2 yards in that game.
Would kill us. We won't score.
Oh my gosh, TJ Watt is going to bend Jared Goff in half.
He might have 20 sacks.
Jared Goff, people that hate Jared Goff right now, like after going through Donald and TJ Watt, they're going to need to wear him in like a balloon bubble suit.
Aaron Donald's going to eat Jared Goff next week.
It's not going to be pretty.
And then Miles...
That spread might be 15.
Jalen Ramsey might have 4 picks.
Think about these pass rushers. Aaron Donald, and then the Eagles have an all-around good defensive front. And then you have TJ Watt, and then you have Myles Garrett, and then you have Khalil Mack. And then you go back to the Vikings, who sacked you 1,000 times.
Then you got Von Miller,
Chandler Jones,
and JJ Watt.
So it's Atlanta. Atlanta is your first chance at a win.
Atlanta and
the first and
Seattle.
only chance.
If Russell Wilson's not back.
Yeah, but at Seattle, that's an L.
Yeah.
Or we playing? Oh my God, we're going 0-17.
So you're up from 10?
Yeah, I'll go 28%. This is not looking good.
I'll go 20.
This is looking bad.
I'll go lowest. I'll go 20 just because it's the NFL. But if we get past that bye week, boys, it's not looking pretty.
I've had a couple people message me, Grant, about your Lions must-win meter.
Yeah.
I had one person say, why does Grant always pick must-wins? And I said, I think he's too scared that the Lions are going to go 0-17. And then the next one, I think I said the same thing, and they said, the Lions will probably win 3 games, but I think we kind of want them to go 0-17.
I don't want 0-17. You can get the first pick by winning a game.
I'm pretty sure we'll see a correction on my heavy must-win next week. I'm probably going to be off the graphic to the left.
It would be kind of cool if the bus breaks a tire on the way to the stadium and we just somehow don't make it.
You know what? To stay on brand, I might go low-key think they could win just because it's a revenge game. Just play a revenge card.
They might lose 49-0.
This would be a good week for the Lions to be the first team to cancel a game because of COVID.
Yeah, like when Michigan did, like Michigan versus Ohio State last year. You just get the vid.
Yeah, they're dodging them.
Yeah,
they're just dodging the ring.
It's a business decision.
They have to win 1-0.
Yeah.
I'm getting a phone call from my Uber Eats delivery driver.
Good to know.
Pause for station identification. Hashtag not an ad.
Not an ad. Is there any other QBs? We did a QB list of QBs you'd rather have than Jared Goff. Are there any other terrible starters and or exciting backups that you would rather have that it's changed after this game?
I'll take Taylor Heineke, Sam Darnold, Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock. I'd take him just for fun.
Honestly, right now, I think I would take Mitchell Trubisky over Jared Goff. I would take Nick Foles over Jared Goff. Mitchell Trubisky is at least more athletic and he can run.
Yeah,
I'm in for that.
I think he would be more dynamic with DeAndre Swift.
We haven't said him yet, but it's a no-brainer. I'd take Trevor Lawrence over Jared Goff. That's a duh.
That's nice.
But we hadn't said it yet.
I would have done that before the season. Geno Smith, are we to that level?
No.
I mean, we all look like clowns when we did that list on the podcast of who's better than Jared Goff, and we were appalled that he was in the 30s or 20s.
I think about that every week. I'm not
I mean, you can insert clown faces on us because he's actually probably 31.
Daniel Jones?
Yeah, I'd take him.
It's the same thing. He has baby hands.
He can run, though.
He does have baby hands, Alex. I don't know if he can.
He can run, though. He's more athletic.
I'd rather take Goff.
I
would rather take Goff.
I can't believe it. I'm taking Danny Dimes.
All right, well, that's the line. We found out Evan would take Trubisky and Alex would take Daniel Jones over Jared Goff.
I'll take Taylor Heineke, too.
We already talked about
yes, I would take Taylor Heineke.
And Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I think he stunk today, but still. I mean, so did Jared Goff.
And Mac Jones.
Yeah, no. I think all the first-round picks are pretty obvious. It'd be something more to root for.
Well, here's one. Jimmy Garoppolo. That's the tough one.
Yes, I would take Jimmy Garoppolo over Jared Goff right now.
Same guys. He's just this.
Jimmy Garoppolo has a winning record when he starts.
But he's immobile.
Granted, he's on the 49ers, but
they're both
I think he'd probably be just as bad as Jared.
They're both pretty vanilla average quarterbacks who made their way to a Super Bowl. An alarming stat that I believe I did not come with, I forgot where I heard it from, but I don't think, going back to Jeff Fisher, I don't think Jared Goff has ever won an NFL game without Sean McVay as his head coach.
Is that stunning?
It's a little alarming.
It is, because if you're you're the number one pick in the NFL draft, you should be able to win no matter who your head coach is, kind of. But if you haven't won a game because of Sean McVay, he had to win under Jeff Fisher, didn't he? It went he was 7-19.
They didn't go 0-17. He was a starter all year. Yeah, he definitely won a game.
No, I don't think so.
You just coming up with this on the spot?
I don't know.
No, in 2016, he lost every game he played in.
Well, while Grant looks at this...
It's confirmed. 2016, he lost every game he played in.
This is confirmed. I can see it.
And then McVay came, and they kind of won.
This feels bad.
McVay came, and they made the playoffs the next year, and then 2021, he's lost every game he's played in. So that'll be history when it happens.
I'm sorry you bought a Jared Goff jersey, man.
It's okay.
Oh, I actually was going to say, yeah, but it's good because now the apartment has a lot of toilet paper, that'll last us for a while.
We'll find a way to do something.
That was me. I'm sorry.
Some good kindling later.
We just cut it off with scissors.
Hey, shout out to that Warren, what was that guy's name? He's on TikTok. He's on Facebook. He's kind of famous. He's listening. Yo, Goff, this was a $120 jersey. You've been playing
I saw that.
An 85 overall jersey.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Hey, sorry, this is off topic. Are we doing the rumor segment of the week?
No.
Can I just drop a rumor right here?
I have a rumor.
It's not sports related.
I have a rumor that I have for the segment. But you can. Is it going to be off the record?
No, this is on. This is juicy
It's on.
for all our Tecumseh listeners.
You want to wait? Okay, let's just do it now because the excitement's too high.
You guys know, are you guys familiar with In-N-Out Burger?
Yeah.
The national chain.
Yep.
Suing
Really?
Dahlenberger for copying their stuff.
Oh, they do look exactly the same.
Really?
Yes.
In-N-Out is suing Dahlenberger.
Stunning development.
That's actually probably like the best publicity for
For what?
Denver ever.
For like copying them, I guess.
How did they
Copying how
find
do it.
that? How?
My sister just sent me a article about it, and she said I called this, which I doubt it, but
Well, obviously their logos are different, but their menu looks exactly the same.
too
And
much like In-N-Out Burger lawsuit claims.
I don't think they're going to win that. Although they probably have much better lawyers than Dahlenberger.
Trade
Yeah.
dress infringement is what it's called.
Hmm.
The look, feel, and the decor is too similar. to
In-N-Out Burger can piss off. They're not even that good anyways.
Well, another rumor mill segment of the week. You see the proposed plan that Tecumseh is going to get like the Lenawee County Community like recreational center. It's going to the board on Wednesday.
No.
Like just like you know where the products used to be. Now it's just like a dump.
Yes.
They're like a brand new like sports facility. Like every like sports like field that you could dream of is going to be there.
That's pretty sweet.
That's stunning.
There's like a bunch of proposed plans. It looks cool. So
Pictures are happening.
Tecumseh's going to be an athletic powerhouse in 2045, it sounds like.
And there's going to be a
Yeah, it will
lawsuit
be.
on national television about Dahlenberger.
that'd be kind of sick.
All right, let's switch to college football now. MSU versus Indiana. The Spartans go to The Rock, which I guess is what Indiana calls their stadium, which is absolutely absurd.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I found that out this
Oh, I
week
think
as
it's
well.
because their stadium is made out of a certain type of like rock.
Probably a Tom Allen thing.
The most Indiana thing I've ever heard. Michigan State is now the 7th ranked team in the country.
9 AP.
7 coaches. We take the higher number.
Got jumped by Oklahoma State in the AP.
They won 20-15. Moves to 7-0. Indiana moves to 2-4. It was a Big Ten football buffet where you want to claw your eyes out the whole game.
That sucked.
But they do what good teams do, and they pull out games that they don't play their best in.
On the road.
So I will tee it up to Alex on this one to start your Michigan State thoughts.
I'll just start with we do not apologize for being 7-0.
Correct.
Exactly. We do not apologize for being 7-0. That's the first thing I said after it went final, officially went final. I said I will not apologize for being 7-0.
Right. It's not your guys' fault. They're 7-0. What do you have to apologize for?
You can ask Iowa. Winning in the Big Ten every week is not easy.
Chop.
And so, at first when you win that game, you're like, oh, that was tough. But then you see Iowa lose to Purdue at home by 17 points. And you're like, well, you know what? A Big Ten East win on the road means a lot. In terms of how the game went, Michigan State's offense was lost. Indiana did a great job gapping, filling the lanes and just stopping Kenneth Walker. They'd push him outside and let him get like 3 yards.
You did say they have good linebackers, and I did notice that.
Yeah, they have. Well, I saw Peyton Thorne say after the game their main middle linebacker, I can't remember.
47.
47. He said that's the best defender they played all year.
I would take him on any team I root for any day.
He's really good.
Is his name Nick Pierce? Noah Pierce.
No.
Nope, JK. He's a defensive back.
47, I think his name.
Yeah, he had eye black, head to toe.
It's not his name.
McFadden.
Yes.
Stud.
Awesome.
I mean, he had a stat line. Holy cow.
He
He's a
was
stud.
everywhere.
It's a great
Michael
player.
McFadden, senior from Tampa Bay, Florida. 9 tackles, 4 solos, 1.5 sacks, 2.5 tackles for loss.
Yeah, great player. So Indiana, they had a great game plan, and it was to shut down Kenneth Walker, and they controlled the line of scrimmage as well,
Kenneth Walker, 23
Yeah.
carries, 84 yards, 3.7
which honestly
per
a
carry.
pretty respectable stat line, getting 84 yards rushing. It's not terrible. But so the run game was gone. I think the longest run of the day that Michigan State had was 13 yards, so quite the difference from a week ago. And then in terms of the passing game, I thought there was chances. Jaden Reed dropped what would have been a 60-yard touchdown
I wrote that down. He
Yeah.
did.
early on.
That was early in the game.
Hadn't seen that before. That was new from him.
Jalen Naylor had a drop, so the drops kind of – I think Jaden Reed had 2 drops. Jalen Naylor had 1 drop, so 3 drops. Not good.
Dude, that is still a catch. I don't care about completing the process.
Oh, I thought that too. I can't remember exactly how
You
it went.
catch,
He definitely
you
caught
go
it.
down, you're on the sideline, you reach out, technically the play is over with.
I thought it was a catch as well.
Your body no longer matters, and then the ball comes out afterwards.
Right, I agree. That should have been a catch. So offensively, you start off poorly, and then the rest of the first half was just nothing. Just a good old Big Ten punt fest. However, Indiana was moving the ball, so defensively we were, bending, not breaking again.
Oh, you stole my phrase. That was my main phrase. Bend, don't break.
I did forget that Cal Halladay had a ginormous pick six in.
You forgot.
I didn't forget.
It was the play of the damn games.
Kind of got sidetracked.
It was.
Cal Halladay, no swag Halladay, no gloves, jumps the route.
I think they nicknamed him Rick No Flair.
Rick No Flair.
I saw Rick No Flair. I saw Bobby Boucher. I called him the All-American. I called him the All-American, no glove wearing man.
Yeah.
Because they were talking on the broadcast that he raised chickens. So he's just like the most farm.
That 100% fits him to a T.
Like the most All-American farm Cal Halladay.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out Jason. Jason saw him earlier this week walking around on campus, and he said Cal Halladay has more drip walking to class than he does on the football field.
Stunning.
Now okay, Jason, that's a miss not to take a photo there without being a creeper, but the people need to see this. I just can't believe drip and Cal Halladay go together in a sentence.
They don't. So, pick six, that was Michigan State's only touchdown of the first half, only points of the first half. What was this halftime score? 9-7?
9-7, yes.
Which leads me into Michigan State in the red zone on defense did a fantastic job holding Indiana to field goals.
Yep.
Kind of the MO all year is just bending. They
were really bending because there were some of these quick hitter plays Indiana was running where they caught the ball and the camera was like zooming out to show you, and it looked like they had a free 10 yards to the first down.
There were some plays in the first half where Indiana was
their screen game. Also, like wide receivers was like it basically is like their run game because they couldn't really run the ball that well on a yards per carry. They were driving me absolutely nuts.
But like
it was just like a simple route. I mean.
It was a little innovative because I'd never seen it really. Like they would do, you never knew if it was a fake bubble or supposed to be a real bubble because they'd catch it, do a quick pump fake on like a vert route that hadn't even started yet. And then I think that would freeze the defenders enough that they'd run with them. And then, like I said, they'd catch the bubble and there would be legitimately from where they caught it to the first down, 10 yards downfield, there was no defender in sight. And then they would come flying in from out of your screen.
Yeah.
It was well done, actually.
Yeah. Indiana, so they moved the ball well. However, they hadn't scored a touchdown in a Big Ten game yet.
Oh, really?
This season until they eventually did in the second half. But Indiana's had trouble scoring in the red zone. We held them to all field goals in the first half, which was huge. To be losing 9-7, credit to me. To be losing 9-7 at half, it felt like it was like 21-0, but it was 9-7.
It was. And again, so the two sides of the coin, something I noticed on a couple of the drives, there was two where Tuttle just – the play calls were bad because they always had him going out to his left. Either it ended up being that way because I would give a lot of credit to Michigan State's defensive line in those situations because there was twice where it was pretty blown coverage. One was, again, our boy Van Summeren got absolutely sucked in on a fake, and Indiana had two corner routes. They ran it like twice different times in the game in the red zone, and the corner was wide open. But Tuttle got flushed. Yeah, the very first one. Van Summeren gets sucked in. They cross. He's just wide open. But credit to the defensive line. They get in Tuttle's face so he can't make the throw. If he even saw him, I don't know. And then he starts rolling, and then there's no chance for him to make the throw going the wrong way, off balance. So really shout out Michigan State's D-line for that. But that was also like, there was two clear shots where they should. You're just like, if you were an Indiana fan or rooting against Michigan State for your bets, you'd like, why can't you just hit that wide open pass?
Yeah.
But they bend and they did not break.
I would say also D-line played really well, I thought, pretty much start to finish the whole game. They got a lot of pressure on Tuttle. Tuttle's not a great quarterback, so I don't know what that says. But they forced turnovers.
He wasn't terrible.
He wasn't bad. He just, he made some mistakes. As you'd expect a guy.
He throws a nice football. I'll give him that.
He's tall. He's a big dude. I would also say that.
6'5".
So first half was abysmal, but 9-7. So that's where I let Evan take over the second half discussion.
Can I briefly, Evan, before I'm just going to get it out because it'll expire at the end, I would say. It's just on top of these red zone things, the Wildcat boys. I texted you about it. It needs
I love
to,
it.
It needs to die. Now,
It does.
It kind of.
I'm standing on this grave with you.
It kind of bit me in the today, but I'm going to keep my flag planted. The New England Patriots, who are coached by the best football coach of all time, ran Wildcat today they ran it for a touchdown.
And it helped your fantasy team.
Well, he was on my bench, but no, it didn't because Stevenson got it because Damian Harris carried him all the way down the field and got hurt and had to go to the blue tent. So they just wildcatted Stevenson in the end zone. But I'm like, Grant, are you dumb because the best football coach of all time did wildcat? No, I'm going to say Bill Belichick's losing it. The wildcat stinks so bad. It should be eradicated from the game of football. It doesn't really work consistently on any level. I can think of Indiana did it. It was so stupid. Coach Tucker did it against Nebraska. I almost texted you guys then.
Did work, though.
No, it didn't. I almost texted you guys. Kenneth Walker got blown up in the backfield for a loss.
It has worked this season.
Michigan has done it in the past. Doesn't work. I don't know. I think they may have tried it once this year. It's just like, even when it does work, it's like it's not the right call. Even if, again, I'm going to say it again, even if it does work, people, you're like, oh, well, it works. There's better calls. There's calls. Because the biggest advantage you have on being on offense is the defense doesn't know it's coming. Is it going to be a run or a pass? When you wildcat, they know what's going to happen. And you're like, oh, well, what if you trick them? Hey, guess what? Especially Michigan fans. When you tried that last year, it was almost intercepted in the end zone, and it was an incomplete pass. So there's a guy on your team called the quarterback whose job is to pass the ball.
Or catch it.
Unless you have like a Hines Ward or one of these all-time, like Julian Edelmans, who played quarterback in college and knows how to throw a football, or Jarvis Landry, who's really good at it. Do it like, no. Hassan Haskins should never be throwing a football. And while the trick play did work later in the game for Michigan State, that's what I paused there because like Tyler Hunt threw a nice football. But when it comes back to Wildcat, let's not get off track. When it comes to Wildcat, it needs to be get rid of the game of football. It is 1800s. Just do anything else but Wildcat. Second half, Evan.
Second half, started off pretty well. Forced a punt. They did drive down, but then we kicked a field goal to get the lead back.
Let's talk about that field goal also. Matt Coughlin, 51-yard bomber.
I think that barely went over. Like, it landed on the white out of bounds line.
I'm glad you guys said it because I was going to have to do the whole, like, say his name again because you guys always crap on him. But
I'll give him
the kid's delivering.
He was without him, we lose.
Yeah, true. But a couple bad interceptions were thrown by Thorne in the second half. Don't like to see it, especially the second one.
We can't just
you force a fumble. You force a fumble and then throw a bad interception 2 plays later. It looks like you just threw it up in the end zone. Luckily, the defense was standing strong. It's just some of these drives you would like to see them finish for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like when you start, now we are starting to play better opponents. Our next opponent's Michigan. You know, you have a 13-play drive that needs to finish as a touchdown. You can't be settling for field goals.
Yeah. Like
you're up 17-9. You have a chance to bury a team. Like you got to score again. You got to score a touchdown before them. Defense played well. There was a stat going around Twitter today. Michigan State's in the bottom 5 in the entire FBS and total defensive plays. Like they've had like defensive snaps.
So they're on the field a lot, the defense. They're
on the field a lot is basically what I'm saying. But they're only averaging giving up like 18 yards per game.
You know, when your offense has those explosive, crazy one-play drives, you're going to be on the field more.
And so, like, my reasoning behind it, okay, we're only giving up 18 points, and the guy that posted it, his point was, I think total yards in a game is now kind of like it should be overlooked. It's looked at too much now because now we're only giving up like 18 points per game.
This was Colton Pouncey, right? I think he did
the yards per play metric is better.
Yards per play is better. Points per game is better because you have a lot of stats, but they're not doing anything with it. So is total yards really necessary? Obviously, if you give up 600 yards and 45 points, then obviously it's going to speak volume.
Right. I think the yards per play for Indiana was 3.7, which is very low.
I think the only thing you really need that helps. I think it's just points. Like I think just your scoring defense because it shows you like, yeah, maybe our strategy is to let you get to the red zone, then we clamp down and you don't score touchdowns.
Right.
Now people debate, is that sustainable? Where it seems like it kind of has been over the course of 7 games where they get there and then things fizzle out.
Yeah, people can say all they want, like, oh, well, eventually teams are going to start scoring in the red zone. Through 7 games, they're just not. They're just getting field goals over and over again. Now, I've seen it every week, and I'm waiting for it to happen. It just hasn't happened. So maybe it never will.
Play of the game, Thorne catching a pass on the sideline, lossing 2 Indiana defenders. As a ref, I don't know how you said he was out of bounds when he was clearly inbounds.
It was clear on the first shot, too. It was clear live.
Immediate.
Yeah. Hunt throwing that, as soon as he threw that, I said, oh, gosh, because he was getting sacked.
I thought he was throwing
a former punter and turned tight end is throwing the trick pass. Bad look there.
I think he played quarterback in high school a little bit.
I saw today that he throws left-handed and he threw that ball right-handed.
I think he is a freak athlete is what I
really throwing a wrench in the whole flea flicker you thing. That's not their brand. Although they did try another one, didn't they?
They did try one today. It was a little underthrown.
The linebacker that we talked about, he knocked it down. Because that guy's everywhere. That guy's a freak.
McFadden.
Yeah. He also was hitting Tyler Hunt on that throw.
Can I ask about 2 coaching decisions? Well, one's not a decision. One's just something that happened that has to be cleaned up. And it leads me, my first point is praise on special teams. Bryce Behringer balled out.
Struggled the first 2 punts, figured it out quickly, and made a huge difference in the game.
Well, one of said punts was because of the team's fault. Because this, again, we look at when you nitpick little things, this would cost a team in a bigger game, is that I believe he pinned Indiana inside the 5 on a punt, but there's an illegal formation on a punt play, which is just a coaching thing that you cannot have, whether it be the kids having a brain fart, but you just have to make sure that unit at game 7 is in order and you're not having illegal formations on punt, because then they're allowed to re-kick. And then I think that was caught at like the 25 or 20. So it was like basically a 20 to 15 yard penalty when it's really only a 5-yarder. So those things can't happen, especially in Big Ten football games when they turn into field position shootouts, essentially.
Will happen again.
The irony of that phrase. And then the more, I guess, talked about and publicly discussed coaching decision was, what was it, after a pick? Probably was after one of the picks. Yeah, it was. I think
it was after the fumble.
Oh, it was a fumble?
Kimbrough strip sack, get the ball back. And then I believe they ran it on first down, and then they took a weird, it'd be one thing if they must have thought they had a look based on something in the game where this corner was going to be sleeping, but I don't think it was play action, was it? No,
it wasn't.
Thorne audibled at the line because of the coverage look and sent both receivers, Reed and Naylor, on go routes.
And he threw it fast.
He said Reed would have been open. He was making a double move. He didn't wait on that. He got antsy. Looked to Naylor, saw it was just one guy, and threw it. He was supposed to throw that ball to the corner of the end zone, and he didn't. He underthrew it because he was either going to give his receiver a chance or it was going to be out of bounds. Instead, he makes a bad throw, bad read, bad pick. And that's going to happen with a young quarterback.
Nevertheless, I'm not going to be a hypocrite because on the past I've said I like coaches that go for it and try to win the game, and that goes to players. So I like the idea of going to kill the game and not just basically taking glorified knees until you kick a field goal.
Yeah.
But it just was poorly executed. Maybe a crossing route or some sort of better concept to really get a manufactured look. They had a lot of success on a play action to Jane Reed throughout the game. Maybe work that in because they're expecting a run. But if you're going to go for a shot there, it just has to be better thought out and not just look like playing backyard football when you have a chance to ice the game with a. Also, should mention if you ran it 3 times there, no one's going to be mad at you because you have a Heisman candidate running back, and that's what you have him for, is just an ice game. So, Evan, your thoughts on that almost debacle?
Yeah, I think Alex summed it up well. I mean, I'm going to give the quarterbacks a word for it, but I think Michigan State fans are just so used to just wasting the time and running out the clock with D'Antonio's scheme that's what we kind of wanted to do. We're not used to the aggressive play calling and chucking it deep. It shouldn't happen. That interception can't happen. But you live with it.
I'll say I don't hate the idea of trying to end the game with a touchdown.
No, I don't hate it either. I like being aggressive too.
I like all of it. The throw was you just didn't execute the play. You didn't execute the throw. And honestly, what I read was that we called a run play, and Thorne has the freedom to opt out of that and audible at the line, and that's what he did. And I guess the look was there. It was single coverage. It's just not a good throw.
Poor throw.
Poor throw, but also like the coverage was smothering too. So it's like,
right.
But then again, he threw it so early that he made a thought more separation would happen. But like if he was wide open, he just underthrew it. That's one thing. But like it wasn't even a good read.
I mean, if you throw it to the corner single coverage, you're basically just betting on your receiver to make a play over the corner, even if he's all over him. And I don't hate that either. I mean, you're going to have to catch 50-50 balls to win games against good teams. Now, that wasn't the moment to do it, but, I don't hate it. Just a bad throw. And it happens. He's the redshirt freshman. Started 7 games.
Any other nitty-gritties of the game before we get into some big picture questions about both college schools?
Only nitty-gritty.
Just like the play calling and like okay, the last couple of games, I feel like we haven't been like, I'm not saying cute, but like Miami, I thought our play calling was good. Like I thought, like unique, different style, attacking in different ways. Now it's like seems too generic, like almost predictable in some situations.
I will say on that point, I think it's either time to change the look of it or scrap it. Is the whole tunnel screen to Hayward? Because I think every team in the Big Ten knows that's coming.
They figured it out.
It'll work against Michigan.
And find something else. And
that throwback screen to the fullback will happen against Michigan. I mean, that's just a statement.
Something's going to happen, but they need to get. I don't know if they're saving it or what, but it's getting a little stale. I would agree.
That's got to go.
I also would like to get Kenneth Walker involved in the passing game, so it's not predictable when he comes off the field or when he's on, even when he's on the field. Yeah, when he's on the field, he might not get a run, but now he's not really involved in the passing game enough. Like I think he has like 5 or 6 catches on the year.
It's something that gets under the radar because he's been so amazing in the run game.
Yes, he's been so good, and he has a receiving touchdown against Miami. But I think before going into the Indiana game, he had 4 catches for 30 yards.
Yeah, he's got 5 for 25 and a touchdown on the year with a long of 13. I mean, I think I've seen from press conferences, I don't know if they're just kind of laughing like, haha, but I've heard Mel Tucker say he can catch the ball. Do you want to see him catch the ball? It's like, well, yes, like maybe a halfback angle. That'd be pretty sweet. I don't know. Like,
yes, it would be.
Something.
Like find situations.
I think Oklahoma scored in the night game on a halfback angle. Like it'll be wide open.
I'd also say.
And so like on third down when Joyner comes in, it's kind of predictable. Like, okay, he's like the passing back.
Yeah. I would also like to see a little more Joyner. Is that bad? Because Kenneth is so good? I think Joyner has a chance to be like a really good receiving back. He's like 6'5", and he ran pretty well on the 2 carries he had.
I'm a bell cow guy.
I'm not saying he needs to come in and run the ball, but like you can put him in there.
But then that's Evans' predictability.
No, you can put him in both. You can play what Connor Hayward's doing. Connor Hayward is still...
Yeah, nobody can do what Connor Hayward does.
Anyways, the only other thing I would say nitty-gritty wise is that the bubble screens and the whole speed and space. I have mixed feelings about it.
You gotta have the blockers for it.
And sometimes,
no block.
Earlier in the season we were running that and it was working and we were blocking well with receivers, and then other times we just get blown up and it's not working either. So I don't know.
I think it's predictability where like, okay, now that you've seen it on film, teams are ready for it.
We need I'm hoping we're saving some stuff.
The old playbook. Locked away, baby.
I hope so.
But, the bubble screens can work, and I like the idea of getting your receivers in space, but...
Dare I say speed in space?
It's a bit predictable at this point. And we got to get a tight end involved. I know Tyler Hunt caught a touchdown pass today, but we need more.
Yeah, but how much more involved do you want them?
I want tight ends to be, like, valuable in catching passes. And they're just not. Connor Hayward is not.
You want a Hendershot?
I would like one. That'd be cool.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, he's a really good player.
I think that just dawned on me now. One of the biggest differences, I think, in this game from last year, because it's how you compare it, and the announcers talked about it, but I was thinking it, so I'm not stealing their ideas. Like, it's been growth from the Michigan State cornerbacks. I think I would heap some praise on them. There was some gross plays where they were a little physical, but again, the inconsistency of what was PI and what wasn't, I could see why they were overly physical because it started off, they weren't calling much, and then they started throwing flags.
Called everything. But
Ronald Williams made a heck of a plays on Freifogel. And Freifogel, they just kept talking about how in the last matchup last year, he just made play, had over 200 yards against Michigan State. And you saw this year a big difference was those cornerbacks. Kimbrough made a huge play. Ronald Williams is playing well.
2 big plays for Kimbrough.
They're just making big plays in these games, and they're a big reason why that the score is what was different this year than last year.
Yeah, I can say I actually am starting to come around and trust the corners. I feel decent about it.
Oh, that feels.
I will trust the corners if you just leave the corners out there and play them the entire game.
You got
like they're rotating the corners almost too much for my liking.
Lowry didn't look that
They are rotating them too much for my liking.
You want them, Evan. You just want them to play like 90% of snaps if you're out there to get in a rhythm.
Yes, like
you got to come out
of the game, getting used to it. Like at some point, a team will capitalize on burning a corner, one of the corners. That's like the first play out there.
God,
they're going to catch on to it.
God, I hope so. They're not capable of.
No, they're not.
All right, let's dive into some big picture questions. Speaking of the Wolverines, who
quick hitters.
Let me tell you this. You want to talk about the blueprint for winning your bye week. How about bye week moving up, 3 spots, 2 spots in the poll? That's how you win a bye week.
Can we ask the people why Michigan moves up 2 spots and Michigan State moves up 1 and Michigan State won a game and Michigan didn't?
The brand.
It's the brand.
Brand.
I don't want to hear anymore. Michigan doesn't have, a brand.
Alex, it's uneducated voters that don't watch football throughout the week. That only watch their team, report on their team, and then they're asked on Sunday, like, "Oh, who are we voting for?" And
maybe
so
it's despicable.
like, "Oh, yep."
Does it have anything to do with where they looked at it? They thought it was a gross win. I know I'm not saying it's a gross win. It's a win to win. But did they look at it like that?
Did they know Indiana's 3 other losses? Probably not.
Tom Allen is like 3-50 against FBS programs.
Can I say something? I don't mind Oklahoma State jumping Michigan State. That was a big win.
It's dumb.
I would say Penn State should have been sliding behind Michigan State at this point in the season.
I don't think Oklahoma
You know
State
what, though, guys? This is a great tease. We will get to our Shot of Michigan Sports first look at playoff rankings. No other podcast or outlet has playoff rankings yet. They just call them top 25. Ours are playoff rankings. So we'll get to that.
I don't think Oklahoma State should have jumped Michigan State.
Well, and you have a chance to correct that in your
Texas
rankings.
has 3 losses.
I will say, though, Alex, I have to hold you accountable. You were a little nervous, I think, in the moment in the game because Evan's brother was, asking some nerve-wracking questions in the start of the Michigan State-Indiana game.
I don't think Indiana's bad.
You've told me all year that Indiana
I'm glad I was a little distracted during that, so I wasn't reading every single message going through it.
Folks, Alex has told me all year that Indiana stinks, and I was wrong about how good Indiana would be, but Alex was like, no, they're terrible, you're wrong. And I wasn't right, but then it was funny.
And I wasn't wrong.
When he got backed into a corner, he was like, okay, relax, Indiana's not bad. They lost to Cincy, Notre Dame, and Iowa. They're not bad. And I was like, well, that's ironic.
Cincy, Iowa, and Penn State.
It's like, that's ironic.
Also, I was never thought that Michigan State would lose either.
No.
I wasn't panicking.
I'm solely talking about I had to hold you accountable for your Indiana flip-flopping.
Wyatt said, is Michigan State a fraud in the first quarter of the football game? I mean, Jesus.
That's what happens when the Bucknuts.
Wyatt, if you're listening, come on.
Chill with the Buckeyes. When the Buckeyes put a couple wins together against terrible opponents,
all
then
of a sudden he thinks, everyone's a fraud.
Yeah. Back to Michigan schools. I like to ask this. What would the spread be right now for the game on the 30th?
-1.5 Michigan.
I was going to say Michigan -2.
Grant, it's obvious. They're 2 spots higher in the AP
I
poll.
would say based on looks, Michigan State -2.5.
Well, we'll see, but I don't think so.
Well, technically,
that might be what I think. It should.
My logic and from what I've read about the spreads, it usually if you're a home team and you're -3, it's basically because you're home.
Yeah. I think it's going to open that. I think obviously the Michigan national base is going to move it to pick them, if not their side. But I think Vegas is not stupid, and I think they're going to throw it at -2.5 because of that home.
I think Michigan will open up as favorites solely because Michigan State has the bye week, and Michigan's going to breaking news, they're going to throttle Northwestern next weekend. And so this could be recency bias.
They might,
so the spreads, I think.
Or Michigan doesn't play and they move up 2 spots anyway. So no matter what.
It's called winning the bye week, man. Hopefully you guys can do the same. I don't want to hear any complaints if you guys move up 2.
Michigan.
We will lose the bye week next week and drop somehow.
Yeah,
Ole Miss will jump us.
We will drop.
Maybe you guys won't. You must not.
Well, technically, if we do drop, I'm getting what I want, and I want it. I just don't want to be ranked right now, so I'm getting what I want.
You can't not be ranked 7. It's ridiculous.
We don't have to spend too much time on it, but any theories, any rumors you guys have seen of the game time and channel? The biggest question on everyone's mind.
7:30 p.m. ABC College Game Day.
That's your call.
It all depends on who Fox gets. If Fox gets Ohio State, Penn State, then there's no way we don't get ABC.
Right. Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those. Obviously, I think that's a
But there's also there is a wrench in all of this, with Fox having the World Series. What time's the World Series going to be on? And so that could change.
Fox doesn't have
when the Fox game of the week is going to be
right. But could Fox sneak it in at 4 if the World Series?
Fox's game of the week is going to be at 4:00. I can guarantee it. I'm comfortable guaranteeing it.
Fox's game of the week.
Now there was guys. Can I give you some?
It won't be big noon. It will be big 4.
Can I give you some smoke?
That's a rumor. That is a juicy rumor.
Get them, book it, ship it, send it.
So like Iowa, Penn State.
Yep.
Okay. Now here's a theory that I didn't watch all of game day, so this could be completely invalid. But Desmond Howard was on Michigan's campus doing a sit-down interview with Corman Haskins. So there's a lot of smoke that was being recorded for when they come on game day. But I would like to poke that could just be ran next week because they run.
It's probably ran.
They run segments when they're not actually at the place of other things. But it would make sense that maybe they were like, okay, Michigan's going to beat Northwestern, and they're banking on Michigan State beating Indiana.
No, they wouldn't do that because they wouldn't ask the Michigan players about the Michigan State game before they play Northwestern. They just would not do that.
I think they.
And
would.
I don't
it's
think Jim
Northwestern.
Harbaugh is letting the people in the building having them over.
He's going to turn Desmond Howard away and be like, nah,
he's
sorry,
not
man.
turning Desmond Howard down. Desmond Howard could walk in there and do whatever.
I can say that is smoke. College game day could still be there. I don't think that's what that was for.
I'd like to let the people dream, man.
I told you it's going to be college game day. 7:00, 7:30 ABC, Sparta Stadium, the Woodshed.
East Lansing may burn to the ground.
Big Ten teams do not have the option to pivot away from a night game until November. So if they get a night game slotted in October, which this will be, they cannot decline it.
I don't think they would anyways.
No, you would be surprised. Michigan State doesn't want that chaos and that much tailgating going on.
Please.
No fun zone. Well, we have a new AD. So
new AD probably wants the new fun zone.
Okay. This is also off of, I guess.
Does it smell Tucker?
No.
Oh, please don't start this.
No, I'm going to work that in later. But that was a good transition into AD. Sorry, guys. We have to address it. It was talked about. And the smoke's been growing. I don't know if you guys saw, but they already said
they did a Fox thing.
Orgeron's not coming back after the year. That's already been stated.
Correct.
He's done after this season. He's done.
Fox did a thing.
Bruce Feldman, the man with all.
Oh, Bruce, why did you have to do
He
this?
just plugged in. They asked him. They said, "Hey, what are the hot coaching names?" Obviously, you got your Mark Stoops. You got your Lane Kiffin causing waves at Ole Miss. And then he drops this bomb that he goes, I've been told by people high up, mysterious figures in LSU's campus that Mel Tucker is their guy. And there is a tsunami, a deep water movement to bring him back to the SEC where he resides and where he's comfortable.
Except the fact that he went to college at Wisconsin and played football in the Big Ten.
Did. But he also coached.
His first coaching job was at Michigan
Also
State.
coached under Saban at LSU, Georgia,
and at Michigan
Alabama.
State, and at Ohio State.
He recruits that area of the country
and at
well.
Wisconsin. So just enough. Enough of this rumor.
Alex,
Mel's not leaving.
Official statement on Mel Tucker.
My official statement is Mel Tucker will not leave Michigan State to go to LSU, even if LSU offers him the job.
Is that just after this year?
Could be today, tomorrow, next year, 2 years. He's not leaving.
Ever in his life.
I won't say ever in his life. I will say within the next 3 years, he's not leaving Michigan State.
Okay, that's a strong official
I'm confident.
statement. Evan, your statement on these rumors.
So on these rumors, I do not like them. I do not like reading about them. It's like you just break up with your girlfriend and you start scrolling through Instagram and you see her. She's already with somebody new. It's breaking your heart. You're like, no, we were so good together. And I feel like it's like halfway there at that point.
Stop, Evan. It's fine.
I don't think he's going to leave, but like I just hate hearing rumors about it.
Honestly, I think it's a compliment.
Yeah.
People want our coach.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah, it is a compliment.
It's a good feeling, but not really. I mean, it's a good feeling.
It's a
but
good
bad
feeling if he stays. Right.
I mean, it doesn't help that half of these rumors are just being like the wood getting thrown onto the fires by like Michigan fans. Like, oh,
no,
yeah,
Michigan fans are just
LSU's coming for Mel Tucker, and it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, because it feels good. It doesn't feel good because like no one wants Jim Harbaugh, but for the years where it was like every NFL team was knocking on his door, the first 3 at Michigan, that didn't feel good. And then they survived the Juwan Howard to the NBA scare this last offseason.
Well, that's going to come every summer.
Right, so now the shoe's on the other foot. It's fun to pull.
Yeah, but Mel ain't leaving.
Right, like he didn't leave Colorado.
Yeah,
I think we just
Colorado's
Colorado.
Right. Well, I'm just saying there's a track record.
There's a reason to leave Colorado. There's at this moment you don't need to leave.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you this
I would
question:
just
is
like,
LSU a better job?
Just
than
like
LSU?
get up the plans for like the brand new football facility. Like if we get those, like start the construction like tomorrow. Like I'll start digging the hole.
Plans are
tomorrow.
approved. They just got to
like we start the construction process. I don't think he'll like leave.
I think it's going to come down to money. I think, and it was good timing that they released the salaries of all the head coaches this past weekend. I was looking through. Actually stunning when you realize on the chart how little Jim Harbaugh gets paid now. I think that might have motivated him.
Jeff Brown gets more than Mel Tucker?
No. Mel Tucker
13.
is...
Yeah.
Mel Tucker's averaging like 6.
He's 13. He's 5.6 mil. Now,
5.6.
Edo is 8.6. So if they were like, hey...
Edo got that contract after winning a national championship.
Correct. But if they were like, hey, Mel, 7.5, LSU, keys to a brand new Cadillac, come on down. I don't know. That would be the only thing. But I'm telling you, I think that that might strong our Michigan State to forking up over $7 million for Mel Tucker, which I'm sure you guys.
We already have a massive buyout for Mel Tucker. Apparently, it's
$19 million.
That's humongous.
You know how much money boosters have? Just ask Texas how it is.
Jimbo Fisher's buyout is $95 million. Just if you ever want to think about that.
Christ. What I was saying is, $20 million. I really do think Mel believes he can build something in East Lansing. He talks about all the time. And, there's coaches speak and whatever. I think he actually thinks he could do it in East Lansing, and I don't think he's going to leave. Not after going 7-0 to start your season, and you're just now getting your program going. I don't think he wants to ditch.
What if it ends bad?
What is ending bad? Going 9-3?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
For his standards. I'm sure he'd just say it's bad.
That's a great step when half your players are
and it's not his first year. It's his year and a half.
And plus, the only confident thing about him not leaving is, like, there's other really good candidates out there for LSU.
They don't need
I was saying and for Michigan State if he does leave.
Luke Fickell will do that.
Luke Fickell's going out west.
USC.
That's just a done given.
James Franklin, MSU.
I do not want that fraud of a coach. He is bad.
Starting quarterback, Spencer Rattler.
I think LSU is like forgetting, like, okay, I don't know if Joe Brady would leave, but he is like so heartedly one of the reasons why you won the national championship. It had nothing to do with Coach O.
That's a great point.
Like the offense, and the only reason you were good that year is because of the play calling.
Oh, I agree.
Joe Brady should get it,
but their higher ups want Mel Tucker
to stop.
I understand. And Dave Aranda. The defense coordinator, was the defense coordinator when he won the national championship. He's doing a fantastic job at Baylor, turning that program around.
I don't think he's good. All right, I think the common thing here that I would say is that
the Big 12 is not the Big 10.
Coaches aren't just jumping one year often. I mean,
Dave Aranda's been there for this is like his second year.
Program.
Wow,
Colorado's 1-4. They just suck.
But he was building something there.
Yeah, he got that team ranked in his first season.
Have you ever seen the view behind their stadium? It's gorgeous.
Place sucks.
We would not be a legit podcast if I did not ask the question. It was a massive story in the world of sports.
And if he leaves, I will be extremely devastated.
You'll be cursing him.
No, it will feel. I wasn't really like coherent when Nick Saban left Michigan State, but I'm sure it'll feel very similar.
Well, that's high praise for Mel Tucker.
I will not curse Mel Tucker.
I won't.
You're doing something that bettered your professional life and bettered your family. I will not curse against you.
I do agree.
And that's why, guys, I'd like to let you guys know that I will be joining 97.1 The Ticket on Monday. Podcast is done.
Podcast will continue with the duo of Lethal Tickle and me.
Now, that was a joke, but last stat.
Hire someone new.
Last stat here.
Threatening us like
surprising Saturday salary talk. Brett Bielema, Mike Norvell, and Tom Allen all make more money than Jim Harbaugh now.
Deserved.
So
Brett Bielema does?
Yeah. So Evan.
No wonder why he tried to get the Michigan State job.
And I also, Evan, I have a new answer.
We almost
do that. I have a clear-cut answer, Evan, for who is the most overrated coach in college football now after I saw the salary chart. I'll give you two guesses.
It's not my most overrated coach?
No, because I don't think Jim can be anymore because he's not. I mean, we're talking about paid-wise.
This is only this year that Jim has taken the pay.
Right, so now he's no longer overrated.
Fine.
You can't call him
Well,
overrated.
yeah, this is his new contract. Technically, it is his new contract.
Right, so he cannot be overrated.
Is it?
I mean, look at the names.
I mean, my rankings is Ed Ogeron and then Jim Harbaugh. So is it James Franklin?
No.
Oh, you're probably going to say it's Scott Frost.
No.
Oh, well.
And it makes sense because this guy is so vanilla boring that people don't even remember he exists.
Jimbo Fisher?
David Shaw at Stanford.
He's a good coach.
He's getting like 9 million, 9 point something.
Yep, he is the third highest paid football coach in the country, and his teams are like around 500, a little bit better, if at best, the last few years.
But
I think it's solely because Stanford's never had like a good winning program that they're
else?
just happy that they found something.
Stanford was like
I get it.
Garbage football program.
I get it. I'm just telling you right now, he's the most overrated coach in college football, and he makes bad game management calls every single week, and I see them from people on national Twitter of how bad he is.
He's about to be the Raiders head coach, so.
Oh my gosh, no, you don't mean it.
I won't be shocked when it happens.
Dude, Stanford is not good.
Any other questions, or are we moving?
Oh, I have a lot.
Because we are going.
Oh, I know. Buckle up.
We're at an hour and a half.
Okay.
Well, there was a delay. You had to get
Yeah, but the previews are nothing this
That's
week. I promise you the previews are nothing this week.
I hope so. I hope it's Michigan wins by a lot.
Yeah, let's get in. This is the most fun part of the show.
All right.
Percent.
Let me hit you with a question.
Is it the one I have?
No.
Okay.
Michigan, the rest of the season. Okay.
Yeah.
Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan State.
Yeah.
If you have to say confidently, what is your record in those 3 games? You don't get to say any background or anything. Just give me the record. Just so I can get my head around where we're at before we continue.
1-2.
All right. That was not what I expected. Continue.
What are the percent chance? So percent chance, we'll start with 0-3. Of those remaining 3 big games for school. So obviously Michigan State is Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State. Michigan, same thing, just insert Michigan State instead. What is the percent chance that Michigan State goes 0-3 in those remaining games?
35%.
0-3 versus 3-0 or just 0-3 in general?
Just 0-3. What is the percent chance they go 0-3?
In those 3 high-profile games.
35.
So if they played those 3 teams like 10 times, they would lose all 3, about 3 of them.
3.5 times.
Got it.
0-3, I'll say 45% chance.
That's about what I was thinking. I'll go straight coin flip. I'd say if they played those 3 times, so 30 games, basically, I would say about like half of the simulations I could see where they lose all 3. And that is just like with fully healthy teams, obviously. Because like my answer with that, I read there was smoke on game day that from your guys' best friend, the Bear, who also, we didn't mention that. That guy is terrible. He picks against State every week. And
he's trying to hedge Michigan State because he went on to the podcast and said it would be a miracle for Michigan State to win over 4.5 games.
And also Michigan State had no business covering that game, but they still covered. So he lost that as well because it was -4 when he had it on game day.
What a bum that guy is.
Now, and saying that out loud, when we get back to Michigan State rivalry week, the biggest factor of who wins that game is what the Bear says. If that is on his card and he's picking Michigan, you can kiss it goodbye. Michigan's
we will win the game. He picks us.
If Bears like, this is Michigan, they're finally gonna, do it. We're screwed. Anyways, it's okay. So 50 now for Michigan, percent chance to go 0-3 versus the 3 remaining schools.
35. I don't think it's any different.
I'll go 50 again.
Yeah, I'll go 50.
Now, 3-0. Percent chance Michigan State goes 3-0 versus the remaining big 3 schools.
7%.
15%.
I'll go 10%.
I'll go 12. I'll split you guys.
Yeah. I think we all agree it's pretty unlikely. My answer is the same for Michigan.
Same for Michigan?
10%.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I view these teams.
You never know what can happen in a college football game, but like if you're looking at it right now collectively, all teams are healthy. I would say 15%. And plus, you have to look at where the games are being played.
Yeah.
This really comes down to I don't think either team can beat Ohio State.
Oh, I didn't say my rumor that they think that Clifford will be back for sure by the Ohio State game.
Bummer.
And he'll be back, I believe, this week because they played this week as well. I think he's going to be back. He'll have a warm-up game, and then he'll be back for Ohio State.
Good for them.
I would say yes. I think that rumor could stay true solely because he was like on the sideline, just like standing there.
Yeah, because I didn't finish it.
During the Iowa game.
We got carried away with the Bear stuff, but the Bear said that he had sources, like he has sources deep within Penn State's program that said that Clifford's trending in the right direction for this week and also will be fine by
He needs
But
to
do we
sources
trust
on how to
him?
win games.
I don't know. I feel like he does at least. He's bad at picking games, but he sure knows people in college football. I also want to ask you guys, similar to how we asked about if we're enjoying the season enough, or we're going to make sure we don't say the phrase, or our expectations change, like they still had a good season considering what we thought. This is a narrative I would like to get out in front of, and I'm not saving it for rivalry because like if this happens, which is unlikely, no, there's a chance.
There's a 10% chance this happens, basically.
No, because
what we just said.
Well, you can get it. You can sneak into the CFP other ways, even if you don't have to win all three. This phrase, I can already foresee this happening if this does. So let's say it doesn't matter who wins, Michigan or Michigan State. Let's say the team that loses that game controls their own destiny somehow, figures it out, where they end up going to the college football playoff. Can we make an agreement on this podcast that that team that won the 30th matchup is not going to say, oh, well, we beat you on the 30th, so we're better?
The team in the playoff is the team that's better. I'll allow it. It's tough.
I'm for sure like, well,
it is tough because if the team that makes the playoff makes it on a bunch of like loony things where they didn't play in the Big, so basically one of these teams wins and that team loses in the Big Ten championship game, and then the other team makes the playoff.
No,
that would suck.
No,
so because that's not a guarantee. That's not how it happens. If that's how it happens, then I'm like, well, I don't know. The team had to play.
Well, that's different. I was thinking if the team lost 1-2 games and then it's like a tie in that team.
They won the Big Ten?
Yeah.
And then get blown out in the playoff, then I'm going to be having questions again. It's hard, but I will not do it. I won't do it if it happens. Either way, even if it's my team.
Evan might. I can see it on his face.
I definitely will. I definitely would say it.
Will you say it as a joke?
As a Michigan State fan, I would say it. As a podcast fan, as a podcaster, analyst, college football analyst, I would not say it.
Would it be in a joking sense or like serious?
I think it'd be mainly just trolling.
I would be in a complete serious mindset when I get a text saying, no, Michigan made the playoff. I'd be like, no, Michigan State beat you. We are better than you.
So, Evan, what if, hypothetically, Michigan State beats Michigan and gets their doors blown off by Penn State and Ohio State, and then Michigan blows out both of them?
Whoa, let's not get crazy.
No, that's the example.
No, I say just wins.
No, blows them out.
I was thinking about this while I think about the question. I was like, well, we are not better than Penn State and Ohio State. You guys are, but we are better than you. That's what I will say.
I love that.
Be like, we were better than you on that day, and that's all that matters.
We won. We beat you that day. Sorry, we don't play twice in the year, but we beat you.
Okay.
It would be hard not to.
This leads into the next thing perfectly because there's a serious chance this happens. So if we don't know the answer to this question, we're going to need to do homework before we need to know it. Tie break sustains in the Big Ten East. How the f*** does that work?
Head-to-head first.
Right. I'm saying when there's an orgy.
There could be a three-way tie for the Big Ten East.
It starts with this. It's
could there be a four-way?
You guys want to listen? I know this.
Penn State beats Michigan, Michigan beats Michigan State beats Ohio State beats Penn State. No, because Penn State lost to Iowa.
Okay, so three-way tie.
Here it is. Head-to-head is the first overall indicator.
So that's all time because we have three 1-win teams.
Then it goes to overall record. So if you lost a game in the non-conference, poop.
Ohio State?
Ohio State would be out.
Then it goes to Michigan State and Michigan. It'll just be the winner of them. If they have the same record.
So then it goes back to head-to-head?
Back to that.
Back to head-to-head.
Goes back to head-to-head.
Oh, so that game matters a lot.
And if they all have the same overall record, which in this case it could be Penn State, Michigan, and Michigan State. It would go to record against the teams that are all tied. So your record against those teams. So that's what it would be. And if they're all the same again, which I don't think they can be.
That was sweaty, and I still don't really know what's going on.
So, if there's a four-way tie between Michigan State, Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan.
Wait, I got it. Wait. Let me try. Let me try, Coach. If it's a three-way tie between Michigan State, and Ohio State, it basically comes down to who won the Michigan State game.
Yes, because Ohio State will have a non-conference loss.
And then if it comes down to Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State. Penn State goes because they would have been 3-0 against the Big Three.
Yes. Also, this used to be a thing. I don't know if it still is.
Yeah, they would be.
There's a way to go down the tiebreakers if you had to keep going that it is determined by current college football playoff ranking. Whoever's the highest. But I don't think you can get to that scenario because we all play each other.
I think the only way this would be chaos is if... Well, no, because Ohio State would still have an extra loss. I'm saying if all
I guess what could happen...
If each team trips up against a team they should beat and everyone has 2 losses, but if Ohio State had 2 losses in conference, they're still out because they have 3 total losses.
Yes.
So they're not out, but they're out in a tiebreaker
When they
situation.
run the table and win every game, they're going to be in. However, yes,
When-
if Michigan State loses to Purdue and Michigan loses to Northwestern and Penn State loses to Maryland and Ohio State loses to someone else terrible, and then they all beat each other up, then there will be absolute chaos.
I love that.
Then we don't have to worry about it because nobody would get in.
And then no
Right.
one's making the playoffs. So
It'd be the SEC tournament. So-
Right. Okay. Now, my final question, and probably most important question.
wait,
Okay.
did you know Michigan State now has added another ranked team to their schedule? The Purdue Boilermakers are back in the AP Top 25 for the first time in 14 years.
Are they really?
Well, good
They're
for them.
25th.
They balled out. David
They're on
Bell's a
Michigan State's
star.
schedule.
25th.
David Bell's a star.
Really good.
Hey, Minnesota beat them. Let's not forget.
Minnesota is the only team that controls their destiny in the Big Ten West.
Really.
Yep.
Ugh, that's wild.
I know.
Row the boat, Sky Ma, go Gophers.
PJ Fleck on the hot seat might win the Big Ten West.
He's not on the hot seat. He
They
built
do have
that
one
program.
conference, so they don't have one conference loss. Is controlling your own destiny.
This is Ohio State.
Yeah, it's a Big Ten East loss, so they still get every West team. They beat all the West teams they're in.
Yeah. They won't, but that is good to know.
They did lose to Bowling Green. And as we mentioned about the tiebreakers, that can
Well,
happen.
Iowa still controls their own destiny.
Wrong.
They win the rest of the games.
Wrong.
Why?
Well, because Purdue technically has the tiebreaker over them.
Correct.
Purdue only has one conference
Purdue
loss.
could win out, and they would be Big Ten West champs.
Dude, that side of the conference doesn't even matter.
What matters for when we play them?
No,
One of our schools
it doesn't, because
in
all
the
those
conference championship game.
all those teams stink out loud.
What's your final question?
Final question is, before our playoff rankings, do not let me forget that. Again, previews will be non-existent. Respect card, I wrote it down. It's already started and it makes sense because Michigan State has a bye week, so basically it's 2 weeks of rivalry week hatred.
It's already
Michigan basically has 2 weeks of it because you're playing JV team in Northwestern. But
the Michigan fans were out in force while Michigan State was playing Indiana.
as we enter this stretch, are you guys comfortable saying, I'm going to ask you this, again, take note of what I'm saying. I'm not saying, do you like Michigan? I know you guys don't. I'm not asking you anything like, do you think they have a good team? Not asking that.
I know what you're asking.
Do you respect Michigan? Do you respect,
is
do you
loaded.
not their program,
loaded
not
word.
their history? Do you respect
The current team.
the team they have this season?
I'm talking about we're talking about the team in between the lines.
Do you respect them?
Yes, I do respect them.
Okay. That feels good. I don't know why, but that warms my heart.
You have to respect them. They're a quality opponent.
Yeah, Alex is
They're
trying to
undefeated.
think like he's just being like, I don't respect.
From
any
when
of
I
the players.
watched the Nebraska game, their front seven is athletic. Their defensive coordinator's new, energetic. He's not going to be stubborn in his play calling.
They got good players and they have good assistant coaches, so I respect
Yeah,
it. I respect it.
that's what Evan was clarifying. We said on the lines, in between the lines,
The people that are involved in between the lines, I respect.
and
If they
some
took their
people-
jerseys off and wore different ones, and I didn't know that they were Michigan, I would respect them.
Like if they were Virginia Tech, you'd be all right. Virginia Tech's going to be a test at home.
Yeah, I would respect. I don't need to know. If I just saw their players and they didn't have a team affiliation, I would respect them.
I respect the shit out of Michigan State. I want you guys to know that before the hate starts.
There's going to be no hate on this
And
podcast.
this whole narrative that Michigan fans are spinning that like it's soft to admit you're scared of that game, I'm scared out of my mind. It's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be like
I was golfed with Cody on Friday, and we were talking about the game, and I told him I'm already nervous for the first half.
You're playing a good team.
I hate thinking
I'm
about it.
excited. I'm super
I
excited.
don't think I am. I
'Cause-
think I'd rather not play.
No, because you're going to find out. Like
No, I would rather not play the game. Like, I'm losing years off my life just thinking about this game. Like, I wish you guys were on the West. Be like, oh, well, hopefully we play in the Big Ten Championship. That would be cool.
Well, I'm glad we all respect each other. Respect is out.
I won't be able to stand that game.
I'll puke.
The problem is I'm going to be in the stadium and I'm not going to be able to do my normal pacing, and it's going to be problematic.
Yep. Well, I guess I could pace in the student section.
I'm going to be standing the whole game. I hope no boomers get mad.
I might go through like 4 or 5 melting moment sandwiches.
Stress eating.
Just
I guess the only other question I have is: do you get hammered for that kind of game, or like no because you want to be locked in?
This is what I thought about this too. I said,
this is really important.
I was like, how drunk was I for the Nebraska game? All right, Evan, you don't remember getting into the stadium. Like, some plays might be a little bit blurry for the Nebraska game. I can't be that way for the Michigan game. I need to remember every single second, every single detail of that game.
I don't know. It might be.
But you'll rewatch it
if you're hammered.
You'll for sure rewatch it. So like, it's not like you're going to not remember. But yeah, I know what you're saying. I might just take intricate notes during the game, so I'm like focused on that and not actually like my feelings.
Oh my god, I'm going to be.
I might just pretend I'm actually a national college reporter.
Any fan on either side of the fan base says they're not nervous. They're probably just not real football.
Yeah, like we don't have to be tough alpha males. Like, yeah, both teams are good as hell. The game's on the road. I'm super nervous to play Michigan State. If that doesn't make me a Michigan fan, then I don't know.
I'm dreading.
I don't want to be one if that makes me not one because I'm nervous.
I'm actually dreading the game,
especially after how last year went. Like, I can't stomach another loss.
This feels like the biggest Michigan State game in my life.
It is.
That is a good question. Is this the biggest Michigan State?
I think we can talk about that
game?
Next week.
It 100% is.
But I have a
Oh yeah, sure. We probably should.
Okay.
Next week, huh?
Before we move on to our non-existent previews, essentially, I'll go first. I'll start us off. College football playoff rankings. The first ones in the nation from Shaw Michigan Sports.
Like 1 to what?
1 to 10. Just the top 10. Okay. Georgia, number 1, college football playoff. The number 2 team in Grant's rankings is Alabama. Okay. Again, these are my rankings.
I need to write this down.
Number 3
I'm just gonna
in the country, Oklahoma, college football playoff. New quarterback, new mojo. Number 4 team in the country, Ohio State Buckeyes. Number 5 team in the country.
Disrespected Luke Fickle.
Number 5 team. I even hate to slot him in here, but my cousin goes there now, and I don't want to piss him off in case he somehow sees this. I'm going to put in Cincinnati. They jumped up from past ones because they beat UCF really easily. UCF is not what they were, but it was a handedly beating. So that was good for them. Number 6, Michigan. You could call them 6.5 at this point. You could call them whatever. You could call them co-6s, but I just can't. Michigan State. I think they're the exact same in my mind. If they could share the 6 line, they would.
So we're at 8.
Number 8. Now, I want this on the record. This team would be ahead of both Michigan schools if I knew 100% for sure their quarterback was healthy. That'd be Penn State. I think they're a better football team than Michigan State at this moment. I just don't know about their quarterback. Again, folks, they would have beaten Iowa by 20+, and that's still impressive because even though Iowa's not that good, they would have killed them like Purdue did. So you'd be like, all right, Penn State's sweet. But their quarterback got hurt, and they played basically a wide receiver. Number 9, so where it gets kind of funky. I can have fun here. I'm going to go Oklahoma State. I'm going to reward them for beating Texas, and no one else gives Oklahoma State respect. Well, I guess AP did because they jumped over you guys, which is crazy. They did that. And then 10, you know what? The Kentucky Wildcats for playing Georgia tough for about a quarter and a half. And I'm biased.
You ready?
Yep.
Georgia.
I'm going to make a graphic of these, so think about that. Instagram and TikTok are going to come for your guys' throats.
I didn't put any thought into this. Georgia, number 1.
Right.
Alabama, number 2.
Copycat league.
There. Ohio State, 3.
Oh, disrespect.
Sooners, 4 with the new QB.
Dude, he's so good.
Yeah. He's
unbelievably good.
He's pretty good.
He's like Kyler Murray.
I agree. Cincinnati at this moment in time has to be 5.
Feels bad saying it, doesn't it?
I don't like saying that.
Can't believe they're number 2 in the country right now.
I'll go Michigan State 6. Michigan 7.
As you should. Basically, both 6s.
Yeah. And then I'll go Penn State 8, I guess. It's hard not to go. It's similar to what you did.
Evan, you hate James Franklin.
I know. Fiery passion.
9.
You can have fun here.
I got to see the list of teams here.
Give Kenneth Walker's old school some love.
No, they're not.
Texas A&M.
Might do something crazy.
Texas A&M could have been mine.
All right, I'm going Ole Miss 9.
You're just mad at Oklahoma State for jumping you.
Yeah, I'm not putting them in.
But they didn't in the coaches poll, and you guys should care about the coaches
I'm
poll.
not putting them in the top 10.
They're undefeated.
And then number 10, I will put maybe just to stir the pot here. Give me the Baylor Bears, number 10.
Okay.
They're pretty good, dude. They're pretty solid.
They're not as good as Oklahoma State, but
you'll see.
you were just.
Well, they already played.
You have a vengeance.
Did they already play?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I'd like to change my rankings, and I'll put Oklahoma State.
Okay, thank God.
But Baylor's 11.
All right, Evan.
Number 1, Georgia,
Right.
national champions for 2022. Just put that down already.
Ah.
Number 2, Oklahoma. 3, Alabama. 4, Cincinnati. 5, Ohio State.
Reading the AP poll.
No, since he's 2. Which is a weird question. Like, are they ever going to drop? Do they start dropping ever or no?
Oh, I thought.
Well, I guess this isn't
coaches.
CFP.
The coaches poll is more accurate, honestly.
Well, I am an analyst / coach, so
Right. This is the first playoff rankings, folks.
Number 6, Michigan. 7, Michigan State. Asterisk, I don't want Michigan State to be ranked, but I did it for this purposes because everybody below 10, I don't like.
Okay.
Agreed.
I'll make sure to put that in the graphic.
I do like Mike Gundy, but I just don't know about Oklahoma State yet.
The offense sucks.
7 is Michigan State. Number 8 is Oregon. Number 9 is Ole Miss. And number 10 is the Chanticleers from Coastal Carolina.
Penn State is not in your top 10, and Coastal Carolina.
Penn State is frauds.
Yeah, but I'll tell you right now.
Sean Clifford is not that good.
I'll tell you right now. Coastal Carolina plays in the Big Ten East. They're no better than Indiana.
I tell you right now, they're beating Penn State on a neutral
Their
site.
play
right
calling
now.
would be better than Indiana's, I'll tell you that. They're fantastic.
They're not. They're at best like 5th in the Big Ten.
Evan, it's tough. I know you're hate for Penn State. I'm looking at their schedule. They've beaten every team their ass, and Clifford again. If Clifford's out, I
beat
wouldn't
Auburn
have
too, who is looking pretty good. Blew out Arkansas.
handled Indiana.
They won 24-0 against the Hoosiers.
Penix got injured halfway through. It was a fireball.
And they were on their way to winning by 3 touchdowns against Iowa.
All right, but that's why.
Or did they? Did they?
Evan, is there any reason that maybe you like Coastal Carolina more because of, the fact you have a T-shirt?
No
comment at this time.
That's not because I had the T-shirt.
Is it because of another friend?
Offensive? No, offensive scheme. They are very good and talented. Offensive scheme.
Their defense wouldn't hold up in the Big Ten.
No, that's what a lot of people said last year, and then they shut down Zach Wilson and went number 2 overall.
And that is a terrible example because BYU stinks.
Okay.
No, I respect it. I respect that you put him in the top 10.
You were going to put Baylor at 10.
I was. And I think Baylor would beat Coastal Carolina.
I think it would be a close game. I think Coastal Carolina might be able to do it.
Could Coastal Carolina score more than 7 points against Georgia?
There's not many teams that can.
But do you think they could?
I don't know if Michigan State will be able to score 7 points against Georgia.
Have you seen their explosive plays when they're flicker?
We could get 1 touchdown, I think. And that would probably be our only points of the game.
I'm so confused. My brain's in a pretzel. I was trying to do some research for the preview, and now I don't.
What are you trying to learn?
How many, when they do, your team is, I'm looking, and, if a team's 232nd in the country in a stat, there are not that many D1 football teams. So
no, there's 162.
Are they doing it out of, FCS?
Probably Division 1. It's probably Division 1 football.
Okay, let me see.
Who cares? Let's get on.
I care.
Michigan Northwestern, Evan. Give me the dirty deets of this game.
Here we go. Michigan Northwestern.
Big new kickoff. Can I get a little...
I forgot how I did that.
Now, it's not a big game, so you don't have to really hurt yourself, but...
It's just a big new kickoff. Right?
Big
are no
new
good games this
kickoff!
It's because
There's no good game week
football
this
games.
week, and ESPN still has no idea where they're going for College Game Day.
Michigan minus 21.5.
Over under
50.
50 seems high. I would sprinkle under there.
Michigan might score 50 themselves.
They might score 48, and Northwestern might score 0.
Evan, thoughts?
Yeah, I think Michigan's going to be able to run the ball at will. This is a Northwestern team that has been shown throughout the entire year that can't stop the run.
That's the stat I have to back it up. Again, I'm not sure how many schools this is out of, but I know it's not just FBS because there's more schools than that in FBS. But according to the Score app, they give up 205.7 rush yards per game. Yikes. That's 232nd out of however many teams that it's out of. That's bad.
Yeah, and Michigan's coming off of a bye week and at home. They're going to have fresh legs.
Watch out for the Wildcats in this one.
My only real question,
Oh, that's
the
okay.
only real concern for this game, the only thing that matters is if this game is closer than it should be, what is Grant's spin zone? There's a couple.
They can't be.
No, there's a couple spin zones.
Oh, my God. I almost did something bad. To continue, I'm sorry. I got distracted. I was reading this.
Okay, what's my spin zone? Evan, do you have, like, if this game is closer than it should be,
Rutgers beat.
what are my spin
They
zones?
beat Rutgers.
Your
So they're
spin
feeling
zone
good.
is the easiest spin zone of all time.
There's a couple.
No, it's one and only one. Oh, they're looking ahead to next week.
That's
That's all
right.
you gotta say.
That's
And
my
everybody
favorite.
feel like, yeah, you are right.
yeah.
They are looking forward to next week.
Now, if you want to get really...
No, they're not because Michigan doesn't view Michigan State as a rival.
Who says that?
Oh, spin zone. Spin zone.
No. If you want to get deep in that spin zone, like, let's say the play calling looks stale. They're saving it all.
for next
Saving
week.
it all for that game.
Next week.
Yeah. Now, if the defense gets torched, then I have no spin zones for that because they shouldn't
Then
be
you just-
sleepwalking.
Then you just suck.
Then you pray. But no, it should be a massacre.
How much will J.J. McCarthy play?
That's also a good storyline to look is like, how does that? But obviously, I don't think they're going to let him throw much because they're still trying to hide all that for the Michigan State game. You know what I mean?
No.
But if you're trying to get him to start, like some Michigan fans want, who's a better quarterback, not coach speak anymore, you're coming off of a bye, you're 6 games in. I think if he's going to start, I think this would be the game to try it.
To start the game. Agreed.
I don't think.
Well, okay, instead
Yeah.
of, let's not do start because start's a dumb stat because if you just play one snap and get out, like, do you think like over 50% of the snaps? Because that's like the starter.
He's the primary quarterback.
I don't think this.
I think this would be the game to try it.
If
They
it
won't
was
do
going to
it.
happen, it happens this week.
No, I don't think they'll do it. Absolutely not. I don't think they'll do it. I don't think he's done anything to lose his job. But if in Michigan's minds back in August, they say, okay, we're going to build J.J. McCarthy up for the season, and we're going to have Cade start until what game? And then they're going to look at their schedule and say, we have a bye week right here, and we play Northwestern next. I think this is the game we can do it.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I'd be stunned. I'd poop.
I'm not saying they made up their mind after the Nebraska win. I'm saying they made up their mind back in August, saying, what game do we think we could get JJ ready to start?
Oh, like if things went bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just funny. Like, they definitely should just keep doing what they're doing. But the more you see Caleb Williams turn out, and I'm not comparing JJ at all to him, but I'm just saying that's like,
That'd be atrocious.
no, but I'm just saying, like, you see that situation unfolding, like, it just keeps those naughty thoughts in the back of my head even brighter. They're like, oh, look at that talent from Caleb Williams. Like, what if that's just half that's just sitting on Michigan's bench?
Must-win meters.
Oh, it's a fire someone if they lose. Solely because they
It is a fire someone if they lose because your rest of your season's ruined because of it.
It's fire Jim Harbaugh if loss. Can we change it to that?
no, I'd say fire. Like Michigan State fans get the pick because it's messing up the 7-0 matchup.
Fire Jim Harbaugh if loss. That's what I would like to be on the win meter this week.
But keep all the assistants that he brought.
Yes.
It's a good young talent assistants.
Gaddis can go with him.
And score predictions.
Oof.
I'll go first. 31-3 final. I don't think Michigan's going to
Bland
get crazy at
ability.
the end. I think they'll just
Give me a second.
run it out.
Go ahead, Grant. If you have a score
Next
prediction, go ahead.
So take the
Do
under.
a little research.
Oops, I messed up. What? That's not their whole schedule.
They lost to Duke. They lost to Michigan State. They barely beat Indiana State. They beat Rutgers. They got killed by Rutgers.
59-7 Michigan. Yes, that's 3 points more than Nebraska scored, and we beat Nebraska by 3.
Good analytics. I will say 48-10.
Hammer the over. Unless you're Alex.
I just think Michigan's going to keep the playbook very tight this week.
You're thinking like inside zone, halfback dives, NCAA 14.
And it'll work over and over again. And then just we'll want to show as little as possible before the big dog game.
The game that makes you nervous. Will Michigan State win their bye week?
Yeah. I think some guys will get healthy and we will be ready.
By that, will they move up a spot in the poll?
Yep.
No.
Yes, because someone will lose.
But the brand, though, you always say it doesn't help you.
Well, you'll move up 4 spots. We'll move up 1. That's kind of how the trend is.
Well, some crazy things would have to happen if they moved up 4.
Honestly, though, probably not. I don't think any of the teams have. There's like no good games again. Oklahoma plays Kansas.
Iowa State could be Oklahoma State.
That would be nice. All right, we'll move up 1 spot.
Okay. And then outside of that, you're right. There are no good games.
And when Michigan loses, we'll move up 2.
All right, lastly,
Lions,
Rams. Only question I have is, Evan, who are you going to be rooting for in this game? Be honest with us.
I will be cheering for the Lions to play well. I don't have anybody in fantasy. And I will be cheering for my quarterback to play very well.
Matt Stafford.
I didn't say who it was. I just said my quarterback.
I'll be rooting for DeAndre Swift and TJ Hawkinson. Don't care if the Lions win.
I will be cheering for Matthew Stafford. There, I said it.
I actually don't care if the Lions win.
So, Evan, is your dream scenario like Lions 49-48 win?
No, dream scenario is
the reverse.
Rams 49-48 win.
And a ton of points for
because you're a Lions fan because you want the number 1 pick.
I want the number 1 pick. I'm looking out for their future.
But honestly, now, Evan, we could get the 15th pick and still get our guy Sam Howell down there.
Dang.
Must win meter, 32. Evan?
What?
Must win meter on this game. I think it's a.
I'm expecting the worst.
So, expecting loss.
I think it should be fire.
They won, 39?
I'm going to change it for this one. I'm going to change it to expecting an embarrassment.
I would say it would be the most improbable win in my lifetime. Is that too much?
What was the score last year against Tampa Bay?
Oh, God.
Disgusting.
Like
49-7.
Yeah, I'm expecting that type of game.
I'm going to go Optimus Grant, low-key think they could win.
I'm going to go expecting to get obliterated.
Because honestly, guys,
the worst.
I've figured out this Rams team. I'm not sure enough people are talking about this. You just have to triple team Cooper Kupp. That's all you have to do.
They destroyed whoever they played today.
Yeah, because Cooper Kupp did everything. You just double team.
And they beat Seattle.
Cooper Kupp.
And Robert Woods had a career game. So shut up. You're wrong. That's a little mean.
You let Robert Woods beat you, though. You dare Bobby Trees to beat you. You don't let Cooper Kupp beat you.
Good player. He's better than every receiver on the Lions.
Correct. That's not saying much.
I'm saying a
Yeah,
lot.
that isn't saying much.
I mean, I even threw out a tweet that
you guys told me Amon St. Brown was going to be some superstar. I'm waiting for it. I'm still waiting.
Dude, he's doing the best he can.
We got baby hands thrown into him. If we had some stud,
easy now.
Something different.
Anything else on that game, guys?
It's going to be 49.
Oh, score predictions.
If Evan lined up at Q and me and you lined up at wideout, do we at least score a field goal in this game?
No.
I think we do.
I think we do.
I think we have better chemistry. I've seen Grant catch a ball over the middle. I think he
guys, how the hell are Grant and I going to get open on Jalen Ramsey?
Okay, wait.
It's the other corner.
Run it back.
I'm not going to get off the line of scrimmage.
Jalen Ramsey.
But you don't be on the line of scrimmage. You're in the slot, so you can't get Jalen.
We get Amon St. Brown.
Little motion routes, so you can't get them all up in your grill.
We get Amon St. Brown and Hop because we need Jalen Ramsey to go off on that.
Evan will be dead in the first quarter from one Aaron Donald hit.
No, he gets Decker back and Ragnall's coming back.
If Aaron Donald gets one free run at Evan, he's dead.
I think I can take one hit.
This podcast will have 2 people forever after that moment when Evan gets killed by Aaron Donald on TV.
Swallowed into Aaron Donald's belly.
It would be great content. I think I would do it for the brand.
And then when Grant and I catch a pass and we're running up the middle of the field, Aaron Donald chases us down and kills us too, we'll all be dead. because we'll never survive a hit from him. We'll be dead.
I think I could take one hit.
A free run? Oh my God.
Well, if it's a blindside and he just like spears me in
You're
my
dead.
back, I'm sorry. You'll see my body just go from like my soul will leave my body. But if I see it coming, like you can kind of brace for it.
Yeah, I'm thinking like Evan like barrel rolling into his knees.
I can safely say I'd be standing in the slot every play, just like peeing a little bit in my pants.
Evan, I could definitely catch a 5-yard out from Evan. There's no doubt.
Does Evan have the arm strength for that?
Yeah, we're near side. We're short side of the field. We're
Yeah,
not
short side of the field, baby.
Evan can't make that
Grant
long throw.
St. Grant in the motion, the two guys on the short side, they just run a rub route, throw it to Grant, 5 yards, boom.
You can throw me a screen pass. I'll get 2 yards. That'd be good for me.
At the point in PPR, baby.
PPR God.
Okay. Follow the show.
What? No, score prediction.
Oh, we didn't do that?
No. 42
49
to
to
10.
7. I'm expecting the worst.
49-7, Evan.
42-10. With a TJ Hawkinson touchdown.
Do you guys not realize how scrappy our defense has been recently?
I don't
I
care.
don't give
See how bad our offense has been recently?
Jalen Ramsey might score 2 touchdowns.
35-10.
Generous.
The spread's got to be 2 touchdowns on this.
It might be
game.
3. It might be the biggest spread.
It
of the
probably
season.
hasn't came out yet.
No, it's not going to be worse than Bills Texans.
It's going to be 20.5.
No, it's going to be at least 2 touchdowns. But while you guys look at that, follow the show at ShotOfMS everywhere. TikTok. Is it bad, Evan?
Spread right now. I was right. The spread right now is 15.5 currently.
Oof.
Yeah, we opened at 15.
Oof.
That's bad.
It's gone.
And they're
up.
hammering it up. They're like, that's too
Already
low.
up half.
That's too low. This team stinks.
Oh my God. Is it at home?
Yeah. In the
It's at the
den.
Rams.
Wait.
It's in LA.
All right. It'd be a bigger deal if he was returning. Yeah, you're right.
Yes. It's at
Scary
LA.
stadium.
Rams house.
God.
Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, ShotOfMS, how to listen to Apple Pod, Spotify, YouTube, rate and review on all platforms. Get the buzz going. Build the buzz this week because next week's show, the next 2 weeks after this are going to be must listens. I know it. The preview for the game and then the reaction to the game. You will tell your grandkids about. And then submit any questions you want to answer. As you see, we went through a lot of questions. If you have any of those type, just let us know. That's all I really have. I will cheers. Close out episode 42 to the scrappy Red Wings.
Cheers to the Red Wings. Dylan Larkin deserved to knock that guy out. It was a dirty play. Oh, forewarning. I saw this tweet earlier today. The next time Tampa Bay comes to Detroit, it's on the 25-year anniversary of the Turtle game. Darren McCarty beating the blood out of the Colorado Avalanche.
Fight night.